Hello, everyone. Welcome to Comic Book Late Night Unlimited. Once again, it is I, Captain Logan, your host, and my co-host, as usual, is our good buddy Chris. And Chris, you know the drill, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna go through comics for tomorrow.
Do some comics, talk about comics from not tomorrow.
That's true.
From
we'll talk about
yesterday.
comics from 50 years ago.
It feels like yesterday.
We'll talk about comics that came out. Yeah, even though neither of us is that age.
Exactly.
We'll talk about comics that came out last week.
Right.
And we'll even sort of talk about comics that are coming in a few weeks, Chris. We're going to do a thing that I meant to bring up last week and forgot about, but we ended up with such a long show again.
Yeah.
It's totally fine that ended up happening the way it did. So we're a week late on this, but I thought we should put together our own... just the two of us.
Right,
people
right.
can help us out if they want to.
Yeah.
But I thought we should put together our own communal DCKO bracket.
Yes.
Because I've not done one on my own yet.
I haven't either,
and I thought you and I could kind of... maybe just to be fair, we'll go back and forth on it, but we can kind of argue them some.
Yeah.
I have never really liked playing the who would win in a fight game.
Right.
But that is the game, and it sounds more fun than any event they've done in a long time.
You're not wrong.
So,
You're not wrong.
like, Snyder is trying to bring it back to let's just do something fun and goofy and have a good time again.
Right.
And so I am happy to play ball in this particular instance and do the irritating who would win in a fight game. Fine.
Exactly. Look, we'll have our own death battle. We'll get the physics out. Learn things to the quadrillionth degree.
I'm so tired of these things, and Snyder has been a part of this sometimes, being so self-serious and not any fun at all,
Right.
and sometimes just about, like, making some kind of obvious point as opposed to making, telling a cool story and just having a good time. We've been talking a lot about the lack of punching.
Yes.
And really the biggest issue for a long time with both the big two, and DC's been getting better at it, especially with some of Absolute, but even some of the regular books, is just wasting my time in a single issue.
Yeah.
If they're gonna get more expensive, if they're gonna be at the price tag they are right now, can I at least have enough going on that I didn't feel like I wasted my $5?
Yeah.
When not that I drink soda anymore, but I could have bought 2 sodas with that.
Exactly. Yeah.
You need to not. I know I'm soapboxing again, but you need to make me not feel like you could have done it in half the time.
Right. And a comic, theoretically speaking, is supposed to be like a single unit of story. You should pick up a comic at a shop and get something that will at least tell a satisfying enough story, even if it's part of like a larger narrative.
Yeah.
That'll hold you for the month.
Yeah, and that used to be the job. That was the expectation.
Right. And now,
like Stan Lee preached it, Julius Schwartz would have preached it, like all these guys.
And there's always that quote from Stan Lee too. That's, every comic is somebody's first. Every comic, somebody's walking to the shop for the first time. That looks cool, and that's how. I mean, either they're a kid or they're just somebody who maybe saw a movie and wants to,
Well, I was going to say, part of the reason we've lost that is because these things really aren't for kids anymore.
Yes.
Which is tragic.
Well,
but you've got some companies that are working to try to turn that around a little bit, or at least give those of us middle-aged and elderly people something akin to the experience that we had when we were kids, and that's why we come back and do this.
I'm gonna get my Metamucil right now too to eat my fiber. Well, also too, when you look at we've talked a lot about sales numbers too. When you look at who's really killing it in the comics market right now, it's Scholastic. It's Scholastic who, folks like First Second's been doing a lot of stuff for kids, and just a lot of folks who are going towards that younger all ages market too. And a lot of times too, since they're not bound by a lot of the continuity and all the baggage that comes with like decades old superheroes, that they're able to tell like really interesting stories. And like I think I was hearing somewhere that like the biggest selling comic and biggest selling, I guess it's not really a superhero story, but was Dogman.
Yeah.
And So it's me. I know I've had multiple people tell me that when they were growing up that they couldn't find things for kids. Like I think between like the two of us, that's how we learned how to read. Just comics and looking at like that like Dr. Seuss too. And
I was going to say, like, I came to comics late enough that I was already reading, like, full-blown novels at that point.
Right.
A lot of people do learn to read through comics, and,
Yeah,
I certainly have used that as a tool for my own kids.
Right.
So that's not me being like, I'm better than you because I came to comics later. Like, no.
But
But I was, when I say late, I mean just, like, relative to you and a lot of other comics fans that I know. It's kind of funny. Like, superheroes have always been with me, but I don't think I was really actively collecting comics until I was like in reading and collecting until I was like 9.
Right. Well, I just remember
I came a little late to it.
Yeah. Well, I just remember like my little cousin when he was first starting to learn how to read. The most we could find for him is we found like one Incredibles book that we went to Barnes and Noble, looked at like the graphic novel section. Hey, do you have anything for like a 4-year-old?
Yeah.
And that was like the closest thing they had. And I said my little cousin, even though he's 27 now, we're very old here.
Let's go ahead and start looking at what's coming out tomorrow, Chris.
Yes.
So we've got enough time to do the bracket thing and everything else we got to go through tonight. We've of course got a cover of the week from last time, and I'm gonna let you shake the phone again this time, Chris. It's your turn. We'll see what happens.
Well,
man.
Here's the thing too. This cover of the week, I had to fight for. I had to like
even find the thing.
I had to go through the Temple of Doom to find this too. I got chased by a boulder.
I mean, if you've ever got time to come over earlier, you could just read mine. I
probably could do that.
We could do that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they do have to be something that I physically own.
That's
so
entirely
you come back in and look at it.
I didn't even think about that.
Coming out tomorrow, we've got Absolute Flash number 7. So that's finally gonna. Well, I was gonna say kick off the new story arc. I guess 6 kind of did, right?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of
wasn't the first arc that we did like 5 issues.
Yeah, and it was getting into like Roar and all that too.
Yeah, well, in the Origin of the Rogues.
Or the
Mm-hmm. You got Nightwing 130 for anybody that's been reading that. I've not heard great things. Ultimate 16, so super behind on that. I don't know if I'm ever going to catch up. Like I said, I lost interest a couple issues after what we reviewed, but I might come back and try it out. The big thing tomorrow, of course, and it's weird that it's already here, is Marvel DC Deadpool Batman. So you're going to have, as everybody knows by now, 2 of these. It's the old school way we used to do it, where one company publishes theirs, and then hold on, I'm clicking the wrong things here. One company will publish their version, and then the other company will do their version in totally different creative teams. You're going to have that with this. So I don't know when the other one comes out.
Yeah.
And is this? Oh, this is just a one shot. I couldn't remember if it was a mini or not.
Right.
So I guess that's nice. Especially if it's not very good.
Yeah.
Because I am very curious about the Morrison one. It is Morrison doing the DC one, is it not?
I think.
Didn't we talk about this?
I think we did, yeah. I can't remember now. I'm the member of the Goldfish here.
Yeah, well, and we have so much of this stuff to keep in our brains.
Yes.
That sometimes I second guess myself. Whether I'm keeping all these names straight, but I'm pretty sure Morrison's doing the other one.
Yeah.
But Wells, I've never been the biggest fan of, and we just reviewed some Wells last week that
we had stuff to say about Wells.
did not love. So this, I'm sad to say, could end up being a lot more about the covers and and I mean, hopefully at least the interior art is good, even if the story's not great. But this is one of those that I'm probably gonna, even though it's a $7 cover, because of course, if it's a one shot, Chris, and it's a big deal event thing, they're gonna pad it out so they can charge more. It's still probably a thing I'll end up buying a couple of times. Because they're doing a bunch of variant covers naturally, and yes, that's massively money milking. But so I complain about this all the time, but I'm also, to some degree, part of the problem because I'm a cover collector, and they're doing a couple of things I really want. I pulled specifically two of the like 150 variant covers.
Yeah.
That's hyperbole. I don't know how many that's exaggerated. I don't know how many they made, but like it's a lot.
It's 10,000. Come on, we don't need to undersell it here.
I don't remember both of them. I know one of them was, I think, Psylocke and Huntress. I think I pulled that one.
Yeah.
And because they're using this as a way to do other cool images of other DC and Marvel characters.
Yeah.
Even if they're not all related to what this actually is, instead of just doing a big DC and Marvel event like Amalgam.
Yeah.
And originally when it was announced that we were getting some kind of event this year, we all just assumed it was DC Marvel.
Yeah.
And that it was going to be a big crossover. They were going to put all the characters together.
Right.
And instead they're doing this Deadpool Batman thing where you're getting some completely unrelated covers just to get other characters on the pages, which is simultaneously lame and still too cool for me not to buy a couple.
Yeah, it's...
I'm sorry to
say. That's
the
comics industry right in like a nutshell, too. It's
right
like
now,
simultaneously,
anyway. So, what do you think we're doing with this, Chris? Are we testing the waters with it? Do you think
Probably, actually,
do you think the plan is to eventually, because when this was originally announced, I thought the announcement was kind of Amalgam too.
Yeah, I mean we all did too. I remember
And then I thought that was supposed to be end of this year.
Yeah.
And now we're getting this. So I don't think this is the appetizer before that happens. I think this is the thing, unless they're planning that behind the scenes, but it's not until next year or even later.
You know what kind of reminds me of? What kind of pops in my head? Shadows of the Empire. Like it was a project.
Explain.
Yeah, well, at least this is just how my brain's working right now.
Sure.
That was a project that was created. It was a standalone thing. It could work on its own, even though that was more of a multimedia franchise.
Let me stop you for a second. Yeah. So apparently they're doing a bunch of backups with different characters, and that's how they're padding it out.
Yeah, and I saw they had like a number of writers listed too. Everyone from like Ryan North and to like Kevin Smith. You know?
Yeah, no. Thanks for reminding me about that. It's all coming back to me.
Yeah,
but I'm not, now maybe this is the case.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that all of the covers they're doing with different characters are related to the backups.
Yeah.
But if they are, then that at least justifies them more than I thought. I thought we were just kind of randomly doing different, and if we were just randomly doing them, there should be a few weirder ones. Right? Well, you should have one that's like Ambush Bug and like Impossible Man or something like.
I would buy that. I would buy that so hard.
I was trying to think of the thing Chris would get.
I would just walk up to like the shop and be like, "Hi, Mr. Cashier, put this in my veins." But like, I'm wondering too if, because Shadows of the Empire, the big Star Wars franchise, not franchise, but well, I guess it kind of was, but it was made as a way to like test the grounds for more Star Wars, to test the market.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, if this doesn't work, it's something that can at least stand on its own. Yeah, but if it does,
no, I get that.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit of a false equivalency because we've done this before and it was huge, and also you don't even need to know it was done before to know that a lot of people would buy that.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
To the point where when this was announced, when it was announced that DC and Marvel were finally going to get together and do things again.
Yeah.
Because remember, first it was just the reprinting Amalgam, did DC versus Marvel, and I thought that was nuts. I was like, I didn't think in my lifetime we would ever see that come back into print.
Yeah.
And then they went, oh, and by the way, we're also going to do a crossover event, and immediately my response to that was, oh God, that's how desperate we are.
Yeah.
That's how in the toilet this industry is. And the thing is, I've come back. I'm spending money on it again.
Yeah.
I'm buying 5 to 6 books a week. I still think that's true.
Yeah, I mean,
I think things are getting better in pockets, but it's just like, here's this, like there's stuff I'm interested in.
Yeah.
You still have Marvel just totally tanking and having no idea what they're doing. I know we've talked about this a ton, and I don't mean to repeat myself too much, but the point I'm making, Chris, is for Big 2, well, that's 50%, and that's an F.
Yeah.
And Marvel needs to be at least in the same shape DC is for us to have any chance in turning this around. Like all of the, even including Image, all of the independents can work their asses off and do everything they possibly can, and they're not the American industry is not going to be able to compete with manga if DC and Marvel don't get their crap together.
Yeah, I mean that's true too, and the one big thing, the only reason I'm even kind of thinking too, like this might be a testing thing, is that I think the higher up you get in like the ladder, as soon as you get to like Time Warner and Disney, the more disconnected. I could see like some CEO like, yeah, but we're a brand. We don't want people to want the other brand. So let's just see. And I don't know how much like corporate, speak is going into it.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. You're right. The heads of those companies could be so out of touch.
Yeah.
That they're kind of dipping their toes in the water as opposed to just knowing that this would do well.
I can see
you could jump right back in with an amalgam level thing.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying necessarily I want that. I'm just saying that they could, and it probably would make a lot of money.
Right. And even when Perez died too, they reprinted those like JLA Avengers books too.
Yeah,
and that was huge business too.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I could see people at like the actual Marvel and DC level. I can see like Marvel DC editorial knowing this is a good idea, knowing that they can pull the trigger on this.
Yeah, but I can also see some of the newer editorial having no idea.
Exactly, too.
Because some of those people are also probably a little bit out of touch.
And so it just depends like how high up the ladder until it gets lost.
So we're going to have Daredevil and Green Arrow with Kevin Smith. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Captain America and Wonder Woman with Chip Zdarsky and Terry Dodson. The Green Arrow Daredevil is Adam Kubert, so that's good.
Yeah,
that'll look nice, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then they're doing Jeff the Land Shark, of course they are, and Crypto by Kelly Thompson, and somebody named Girahiru, who's not a one-name artist I'm familiar with, but we have a lot of these one-name artists in the business, don't we?
We do, yeah.
And we tend to do it more with artists than writers, right?
Well,
you got your jocks.
You got Jock, yeah, exactly. Well, who was it? It was one of the X books in the late 90s, like early 2000s, that the writer was just like Mr. X.
Oh, yeah, remember that?
I can't remember what book that was, though. Oh...
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was, but I can't remember what book it was, but it was some, like, X title somewhere during that era.
And then very rarely, every now and again, you'll get a group of people that will call themselves one thing, like Man of Action.
Yeah.
But that's kind of rare. Anyway, so, like, some of these other crossovers, and hopefully we'll get some surprises in it.
Yeah.
But some of these other crossovers sound like cool things that I wish we got more of, and that I kind of wish was the book instead of this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I would expect them to think the big moneymaker for a big crossover one-shot would be Daredevil and Green Arrow.
Yeah.
But I'm more excited about that, and Deadpool and Batman will be the longer feature.
And you've got Kevin Smith, who's worked on both characters, too. So, at least, like... I've never read Guardian Devil.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
And that's what's neat about that.
Yeah,
He's done both of those. So that was a smart pick.
Yeah.
It's also later Kevin Smith. I don't know if he can write anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll be any good. But whatever. I think the last thing I read from him was his Batman 66 crossover with something.
Oh, was it Green Hornet?
Green Hornet,
yeah.
And of course that's what it was.
Yeah,
because he did
wrote
his Green Hornet
too,
for Dynamite. Yeah. I just, in the moment, I couldn't remember what it was. And it was just too many words on the page.
That is shocking from Kevin Smith.
No, and I know that's just what he does.
He's just Silent Bob. I don't know what's going on.
But with that, it was way too much.
Yeah.
But anyway, wouldn't it, and we'll move on from this, but and we'll talk about this, of course, next week, and we'll make sure that you can also read it, even if you don't buy a copy, so that we can talk about it. We'll make that a big feature on the next show.
We'll talk about the whole ordeal with the Superman comic later, too.
We'll make sure we can... I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, the cover of the week.
Oh, yes. Yeah. But we'll make sure that we can review it 15, 20 minutes next show, and make if you're here. And if not, I'll do it without you. But anyway, wouldn't it have been just as play it safe, though, if this had been 4 one-shots?
Yes. Yeah, I mean...
I'm just saying, why is it one oversized one-shot? Why is it one oversized one-shot with a bunch of probably 7-8 page backup features?
Yeah,
like,
I mean...
You never can do enough in those to make it worth them a while.
Yeah.
Like, those stories will... Hopefully some are cool. They'll probably be kind of lame.
Yeah.
Oh, it just occurred to me that... Sorry. That I bought that Batman 1100 speaking of oversized one-shots with a bunch of stories in them, and I mentioned that last show, and I forgot to read it. I was going to review that this week, and I completely forgot it. I spaced it, so I'll find that and try to do it at some point.
Right.
If anybody hears.
If anybody hears.
There's supposed to be a couple cool things in that. And
I mean, I know Detective, like 1000, there was, a lot of stuff I liked about that, and like some of the ones like Action 1000 had some cool parts too. So I mean, you can at least find something, I imagine, at least.
Austin said Kevin Smith's brain is fried at this point, but maybe it'll work. Maybe. But also, it's like 7 or 8 pages, so it could go either way, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Kevin Smith kind of knows Kevin Smith's brain is fried, and he's just rolled with it. That's how he got Tusk. I mean, that whole thing started as them on their podcast, like, man, I saw Craigslist say about Walrus. It should be a movie.
Yeah, but he wasn't as self-aware as he is now because that was pre-getting off of weed, Kevin Smith.
That's fair. That's fair. Some of his podcasts, it's like, that is man's on the green train.
Sorry, for some reason, I cannot get back to our page here, Chris.
Oh.
Okay, that was weird.
Technology.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's, of course, the giant thing for next week. We'll talk about that when... And for next week, I mean, comes out tomorrow. So you can buy that tomorrow. We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
We do this backwards for most everybody else.
Exactly.
We review the stuff after you've had 6 days to read it. You're welcome. Amazing Spider-Man 12. So I'm assuming that that's going to be full on Norman Osborn now.
Yeah.
Right? Probably.
I imagine so, yeah.
Oh, look, Spider-Man's being attacked by a bunch of other spider people because that's all we do now. Shocking.
Spider-Man.
Stop Spider-Man. Spider-Man's gone too far. You know why?
Why?
Because he's Norman Osborn. Have you been paying attention?
Oh,
now
no,
his greatest allies must stop him before it's too late.
Wow.
That might sound more compelling if we didn't know that that's not actually Spider-Man.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't know. Also, it probably wouldn't eat anyway.
It probably would.
But whatever.
It could, but it probably won't.
Okay, what else is happening? Usual Suspects, Uncanny X-Men, Ultimate Black Panther,
Battle Beast.
Battle Beast. I have heard great things about. I don't care about that, just as a thing.
Right.
But I have heard that's supposed to be a really great book.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four #3 is out tomorrow. Batman and Robin Year 111. I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
New Gods, I've heard is fine, but I don't think anybody's reading it.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I like the New Gods, but I'm like the problem too because I never buy any of the books.
Not
not
enough to buy a new one.
I know, right?
And the thing is, I mean, I don't want to get stuck on every book, but New Gods didn't sell well when it started.
Yeah,
like when it was Ditko. Yeah, when it was at its best. Like nobody's ever month to month cared about that as a concept.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to say.
I mean, unfortunately, that's true. And like even
what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
people like those characters as supplemental things, and like stories where Superman or Justice League or something will go there, but just not on its own. I don't know.
I mean, the only time when they've even really like sold well, other than that, was the Mr. Miracle stuff, the Conking Mr. Miracle, which is
that was kind of an anomaly.
Yeah, in a number of ways too, because there's that little part of me that when I see a Tom King book, it's like maybe he'll be a Mr. Miracle this time. Maybe it will.
Yeah, I never finished that. I've heard it falls off in the back half, but I don't know how true that is because I never finished it.
There are parts where towards the end where it does slow, because it's like a 12-issue series too. And
I'm well aware.
Yeah. But at least
King does a lot of those.
Yeah. But at least like the ending was, I mean, at least in my opinion, pretty strong.
Was it? Okay.
So at least it kind of nails the ending.
Your Magic book is out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Are you gonna keep buying that?
I need to catch up to. We say keep buying. Like, look, we're not gonna talk about how behind I am on anything.
Well, it's just funny because you seemed sort of lukewarm on it. But you were like, I mean, I'd probably buy that again. And I'm like, wow, rousing endorsement from Chris. Can we find one Marvel book where we're like, holy crap, I have to have that next month? I don't think we can.
Yeah. At least, I mean, it was one of those books. It wasn't that I was lukewarm on it. It was just that I've been enjoying it. it's a lot of the X-Men stuff has left me a little cold, even to like different degrees too. There's some stuff I've liked, even though again, like, yeah, a lot of it just seems kind of like playing it safe a little bit, especially after how weird it got.
I'm just saying, you seem to like it fine, but we're not finding anything we're just
nothing that's really like blown us away too. I mean, Magic it's not a bad book. It's one I've enjoyed, but again, it's not like earth-shattering. It's
Let's keep going. Exquisite Corpses is tomorrow. I've not looked at that. Phoenix 15, New Avengers 4, Deadpool, Wolverine. Deadpool just crossing over with everybody.
Wolverine,
we
know where the money is.
And Batman. Crypto number 4 is tomorrow. I know this is supposed to be a mini-series. I don't know how many issues it's going to have. Is it 4 or 6? I don't know.
Yeah.
I would assume it's going to have a couple of more because he didn't even seem to have his powers until last issue.
Right.
And these are also one and done.
Yeah.
I would figure we're going at least 6 on it.
Yeah.
I'm still liking that. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The art's really good in it. And once again, it's not like Let Me Go Back.
That's weird.
What is the deal here, Chris?
Yeah, it's like...
What are you doing to it, Chris?
I don't know. Just, it's my presence. Just my mere presence just causes it to short out. Yeah. It's like, Chris is here. We need to shut down.
Who? Presence.
Presence.
Predator Kills the Marvel Universe number 2. I cracked open the first issue and I thought the art looked kind of not great.
Huh.
That was just a first impression.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that is that what the interior's like too, just on the cover there, or
no?
Oh well,
because that looks pretty good.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like I don't think it looks that bad.
It's let's see, Marcelo Ferreira. I don't know who that is.
No, I'm a fan.
Anyway, that's out tomorrow. I guess Star Wars got a reboot because everything at Marvel gets renumbered every, I don't know, couple 3 years.
Yeah.
Justice League Red. Okay, really? So now DC is doing the color thing that X-Men was doing a while back? All right.
Yeah, we're going with it. Okay.
Let's see.
We already had Justice League Dark, which, had a teeth monster.
This looked interesting. I don't know if you've seen any solicitations for this, but this is Batman's Second Night, which is Batman in 1940.
Okay.
So 1940, most of the Western world is embroiled in a war against fascist regime. Yes, we all know about World War II. It's time of fear and paranoia for those living in Gotham. It's only been a few months since the city was rescued from undead monsters by the mass vigilante known as the Bat-Man.
Yeah.
But a vicious killer has been on a murder spree that's taking the city to its breaking point. Who is writing this? This is Dan Jurgens, which I knew but I'd forgotten about.
Yeah.
Because I just learned about this book last week from something I was reading.
Yeah.
So that sounds exciting.
It does.
And I know some people are not big Jurgens fans. I go back and forth on him with stuff.
Right.
Weirdly, I think some of his more recent stuff has actually been better than some of his 90s stuff.
I can see that.
Now, his Batman Beyond went on too long and was not great.
Right.
I don't know how that got 40, 50-something issues. It's crazy.
The power of the Jurgies.
But I'll forget you said that. But his Lois and Clark was wonderful, and he invented John Kent, who's been, of course, just completely ruined now. But he was wonderful when he was 9 and hanging out with Damien.
Right.
All that stuff was great, and like before that, when he was invented for that book. But anyway, so I will probably buy that.
Yeah.
I am definitely interested in that. Wow, I actually. Once again, probably spending too much money tomorrow. Because I did put this new Marvel Zombies book on my poll, and it being Marvel right now, I'm worried it will disappoint me. But I liked the premise because it's a full-on kind of start over for a totally different Marvel Zombies universe.
Yeah.
And there's nothing left to do in the original one at this point. So that's really all you can do. But I'm a little bit curious about it.
Yeah, it might be interesting.
It's supposed to be... Oh, I guess it's supposed to be the Fantastic Four becoming zombies when they get their powers.
Okay.
Is what it looks like. So that's kind of neat.
I don't know who Ethan S. Parker. Yeah.
No, I don't know any of this team.
Yeah.
These are new names to me, which makes me immediately skeptical because Marvel keeps hiring people you've never heard of, and then you'll either never see again, or they keep just throwing them on different random books, or then they go to DC and they make more things nobody cares about.
It will look out
but
too.
Maybe this will be great.
Yeah.
Who knows? Hey, I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna try it.
Wait, Witchblade's back?
I think Witchblade's been back for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, 14.
So yeah, at least 14 months.
Casey Jones #1 comes out tomorrow. I will probably flip through that and decide whether I'm actually going to buy it, because I haven't been completionist on Turtles lately,
right?
Because I was just disappointed for a long time, and I think all their side stuff is real hit and miss right now. So I'm not feeling the need to buy everything like I used to.
Right.
This is also names I don't recognize.
Yeah. Huh.
So I will take a look.
Apparently this guy's been on
Batman Urban Legends,
All Against All, so I mean
Alex Parknadel. And then this artist, which I'm not going to try to pronounce, we did some Detective Green Arrow that I didn't read, so. All right.
Well, might be worth checking out too.
I have been curious about that. I knew that was coming out for a while. And then we've got the I should mention the Batman Day stuff this week, so we'll have some cheap or they might do some free stuff. I'm not sure. I hesitate because I'm like, I talked to my comic shop guy last week, and they didn't even realize that that the industry was still doing the fall version of Free Comic Book Day. They were like, at first they thought Batman Day was that, or that they did that instead, but I guess they're still doing that. They had to look it up, and they're like, oh, I guess we ordered books for this. We didn't even remember we were doing it. So the Batman Day stuff is just cheaper reprints.
Right.
And then we'll have a kind of second extra Free Comic Day that will actually have Free Comic Day stuff. Right. The reprints will be better because they'll be like actual stories.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get lucky and we get like whole actual comics for Free Comic Day.
Yeah.
But they still tend to be more often just advertisements.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just
previews. Yeah. But anyway, I have not gotten a hard copy of Absolute Batman yet, because the first printing is ridiculous right now, and I know that's going to go down in value at some point. You know why? Because they sold 400,000 of them.
Yes,
there's plenty. Okay.
Yeah. Well, the reason
I've been sitting around going like, am I going to get like a 5th printing or a 6th printing, or am I going to pay a little extra to get a really cool cover? But I will probably buy this this Batman Day one that I think because I was actually in the back room of my comic shop last week talking to the guy, and I thumbed through some of this because he already had the order.
Oh, nice.
And I think those are like $3 maybe. I'm forgetting what the cover was, but I did go back there and look at those. And there are some I forget what all, but they're doing 5 or 6 DC reprints for Batman Day.
Nice.
For different things, and not all. Even are they all even Batman stuff? I don't even think it's all Batman titled stuff. I'm sure Batman's in most of them.
Yeah. No, they'll at least be like a Robin or a Nightwing or something to do and kick you around there, I imagine.
I still think it's so weird that we have not 1 but 2 Gunslinger Spawn books at the same time. It's so strange.
You know, you just Cowboy Spawn, that's what sells.
Yeah, moving right along. Okay, here's the other Batman Day stuff. So you got Batman and Robin Year 1 #1. They're reprinting that. And then they're doing a Batman Day edition of Batman Year 2 #1. Oh, wow. Which I actually have in singles.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have all of it, but I definitely have this issue. It's weird, like I never heard anybody talk about Year 2 for the longest time, and then I discovered it and reviewed it, and now it's coming up everywhere.
It's one of those that was just
I'm not saying I'm responsible for that. I'm saying the timing is very odd.
Captain Logan, Kingmaker. I mean,
it's my only superpower. We talk about this all the time. Well, did you hear about Robert Redford passing?
Yes.
So Robert Redford died yesterday, and rest in peace, Robert Redford.
Yes.
But Austin and I have this ridiculous power we've discovered where whenever we review something, there's a related piece of news that happens. Right. Now, usually it's that there's a remake or a decades later sequel or something, or like something comes back into print that hadn't been for like years and years and years. Well, we reviewed Watchmen last night. And then we found out that Robert Redford died. So we kind of feel like we kind of killed him.
I was about to say.
I feel really bad about that.
He's not going to run for president after all. We're not going to have the cowboy act.
But we'll talk about this again on Friday. I don't mean to be in poor taste, but I think that's in its way hilarious.
I was like wondering too, like you didn't watch like Butch Cassidy, did you? I like heard raindrops keep falling on my head on like the drive here today, and it's like, oh no.
I didn't know Mad Catz had a Dick Tracy book.
Yeah, they've been doing that for a bit. I've got like the first issue. It's trying to be more of like a throwback to sort of an update of like the original Dick Tracy, like where it's a little grittier, like a little bit more violent than you might think of from like the movie. But again,
yeah, sure.
You read like the old strips and you read like some of the early.
Well, before there was any censorship.
Oh, yeah, where it's like,
this was the pulp days where really bad things happen to bad people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, the Sunday funnies, too. It's like, I'm going to read Marmaduke, I'm going to see Flat Top get shot in the neck. That's...
No, I think a lot of people mistakenly think that if you go back all the way, it was always like during the Comics Code.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It just wasn't. The same is true of cinema.
Oh, yeah, before the Hays Code and all that, too.
Of course.
Like, you watch a lot of pre-code stuff, it's like, is that a boob? Is that...
Sure.
And yeah.
But also, I hate to sound cynical when I say this, but also, is that like storytelling? Is that like, are we trying stuff?
Yeah, I know.
Because things don't just get more censored, but through censorship, you also tend to fall more into formula, and naturally you do a lot less experimentation.
Well, that's
because just how can you?
Yeah, I mean, everything that, with the Comics Code, that's how you got the Silver Age. That's how you got, like, the comics industry being like, okay, let's work something out, and then you get, like, a new Flash, and then you get a new Green Lantern, and all that, too.
So I don't know what this $2, like, prequel DCKO thing is. I don't know if this is going to be like a zero issue, or if it's even... No, it's only 12 pages, so... Yeah. I don't know what's even in that. Like, is it just brackets?
Maybe, yeah, exactly.
Some art of just setting the thing up, like...
Some odds, too, for the Vegas playmakers.
Is it even like a 12-page story, or is it just... I feel weird spending $2 for 12 pages, which I know sounds weird because I now begrudgingly pay $5 for 20 or 30 pages.
Yeah.
But still, there's something about it. It's like...
Right.
If you're printing 12 pages, that is a preview that you hand people.
Yes.
You don't make people pay for that.
Right. I mean, I'm just wondering too, because
I want to know if anybody else agrees with me on this besides Chris.
And we've been talking too about like, Marvel versus DC. Remember how like the back matter of those issues too? You had like the stats for all like the heroes. Mm-hmm. You're like, it's Superman. He's 6'3" and first appeared Action Comics #1. Here are his powers. I'm wondering if there'll be a lot of that too. Just a lot of like statistics and
Boom's doing an Expanse comic. I wonder if anybody's going to buy that.
Oh, wow.
That's wild.
I mean...
That art doesn't look great, even on the cover.
Yeah, but it looks like they're at least trying to catch, like, the sci-fi actors,
well,
to
of
catch,
course.
From the show, which...
I like what I saw of that.
Yeah.
I need to finish it.
It's
I was part of the problem with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Why I canceled, because I didn't keep reading. Now, I don't know if that got a full-on finish. I assume it did.
It did, like Amazon Prime.
When it moved over to...
it's...
And then we've got... Sorry, go
I
ahead.
was just going to say that there's also, like, a ton of weird tie-ins, too. Like, I think there's a game coming out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like a PlayStation.
Just all of a sudden, we're doing a bunch of Expanse stuff?
Pretty much, yeah. There's...
Well, it's right there in the title.
Yes.
I guess it's weird if you never had any expansion from The Expanse.
Well played.
Anyway, we're also getting apparently a couple of foil cover reprints for Transformers #1. If I didn't have anything else going on tomorrow, I could see myself getting one of these maybe. Oh wait, but they're like $20. What is happening here?
Are these These have to be trades, huh? Yeah.
No, they're not.
Oh.
They're not. These must just be, I'm going to assume like one in whatever, but then they're not telling us that. So I don't know what is special enough about these that make them worth $20.
Can you
but
actually transform? Can I like, can I buy like an issue and then drive away like a gold bug too?
Dude, if they put out a comic book that transformed, I would pay $20.
Exactly,
for that.
yeah.
Even if it was just papercraft. Like,
I know.
That's awesome.
Just turn it into a little boat, like a little origami Optimus Prime. Boom Studios, free idea.
And then they're doing just a bunch of new printings of random issues of Absolute Batman on the same week. Like 4 and 6 and 2 and 5. They're just all over. Captain Planet comes out again tomorrow because we're still kind of double shipping books until we catch up to what they've printed. We've talked about this when Dynamite had several weeks where their orders weren't going through. So my wallet is still suffering for a bit until we stop double shipping. Although it is weird we haven't had Powerpuff Girls in a while, so I don't know what that's about. But anyway, it looks like I've got at least like 6 tomorrow, Chris. Not to mention I missed Absolute Batman 12 last week somehow. I had it in my stack.
Yeah.
And somehow I walked out without it. I don't think I paid for it.
Right.
But somehow I ended up not. So anyway, I got the guys to throw it in my box, so I've not read it yet.
Yeah.
And I will talk about that next week along with all of this other stuff. So expect next week to be a long show.
Yeah.
But they have been.
I was about to say, unlike every other week, because we're just so brisk and stuff.
So whatever. Well, let's go ahead and bring Austin in if he's ready, and we'll let him talk about the books that he bought last week before I get into mine. And I've got a short enough stack, and I haven't been able to read everything, Chris, so I'm not going to go on too long with my stuff.
That's fine.
Which should give us more time to do our bracket thing.
Yeah, I will say I brought one thing.
Let's see yours while we're waiting on Austin. And Austin, go ahead and just call in when you're ready.
Yeah.
And we'll get you right on here.
So the one big thing I brought today, I just
what
got
is
this Stardust the Super Wizard anthology.
I've never heard of this.
Stardust the Super Wizard?
Yeah.
So
I don't know what that is.
So this was...
I'm sorry, you seem so excited. Like I'd give you a reaction. Like, oh my god, it's this. I've never heard of this. Well, I don't know what that is.
Here's like the thing though. Stardust the Super Wizard is like a weird Golden Age artifact. Like, it's public domain now, and these are all like news stories about the character. Like from modern creators, like Ron Mars does a story, Jeff Parker.
Who published that?
This is it's an independent thing too. It's like trying to find like the actual publisher. So I got this through Zoop, which is a
I don't know what that is, but it sounds like...
I've never heard of that either.
Okay, so what Zoop is, it's a crowdfunding platform that, at least at the beginning, was specifically for comics.
Oh.
And I guess...
Oh, that's cool.
And it's named after... I don't know if you know the story about the Flash TV show and how they would always call it the Zoop scenes whenever Barry Allen would like go.
Yes, I have heard this.
That's what it's named after.
Okay.
But so just some editor put together an anthology. So for those of you who don't know, Stardust the Super Wizard, here's a picture from like the original Golden Age era comics from like World War II era. I want to say before then, maybe like 41 if my like timetables are correct. I'm bad with dates anyway. But this was just right...
Come on, Chris, give us a history lesson.
Exactly. This was just right after Superman got big. This was just right when like Action Number 1 came out, and like all the publishers just around the industry were like, we need our Superman. We need something. And so
everybody was scrambling.
Yeah.
And that's why you had so many knockoff, kind of nothing superheroes.
You got knockoff...
And then some of them became something cool.
Some of them became something cool. Some of them were just so weird and, like, weirdly uncomfortable that you couldn't really ignore. And that's how Stardust the Super Wizard came around. again, since this is a modern interpretation, and um, they've kept some of like the weird. They've kept some of like the weird proportions that you saw in the. Let's see if we can get here from like those early comics. And like when he would fly, he wouldn't do like the Superman pose with it. He would just sort of like roll around in the sky. So like he wouldn't do a superhero pose. He would just be like this. And the stories were like so weird. Like they were.
He just flew around looking like he really needed to use the bathroom.
Pretty much, exactly. Okay. And like the stories were so weird. Like he would fight like gangsters on the moon who wanted to hold the Earth hostage, so they made like a big lasso to stop its rotation, and then you see like everybody on the planet float off. And like Stardust was such like a, you read the stories and it's like, this guy's a heroic at all, he's just a creep with like weird lasers. So he would fight like villains by like, I'm gonna pull your head off and put it in this box. Or I'm going to use this laser to shrink your head. So...
Real fixation on heads.
Real fixation on heads.
Okay.
So, yeah, I believe it was...
This is fascinating. Yeah. This is the kind of stuff Chris buys.
Exactly, yeah. So
that sounds really cool.
And yeah, I mean, it's such like a weird artifact that once you find out about it, it's like, how does this exist? I believe it was Van Jansen was the editor that put this all together, and these are all like modern reinterpretations of, and some of the art is kind of, you know, pretty good.
That's cool.
Let me find. I think it was page 47.
So it's a bunch of different creative teams.
Like I said, they've got. I really liked a lot of the panel work here too.
Yeah.
But it's everybody from. Like I said, Ron Mars has a story in this. Mike and Laura Allred are in this. Tom Fowler.
And that's just a natural match for that.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't know if you know how much I love the Allreds. But...
The Allreds are great, no. Buster Moody, who has done a lot of Godzilla stuff. He's actually a local guy, too. I think he's based out of Lawrence. He's always at the...
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he's always at the little cons they have there. He also did like Task Force Rad Squad, which was like a little bit of a tokusatsu riff. So
I wonder if he's doing something for Godzilla versus Kansas then.
I think he is.
I bet he is.
He's actually.
Oh, okay, cool.
If I recall, he's actually done at least a cover. I know that much.
Doesn't that come out in like what, November?
I think so. Actually, yeah.
I think like end of October.
Jason was very. Oh, is it that early?
Okay, yeah.
Jason was very excited about that and made me put it on my pull list.
Yeah.
I have to buy that.
But yeah,
but the other ones are cool. So
yeah, they've done like, I think they're up to like Boston now. I think Boston just came out. Maybe.
Boston was the first one, and then L. Oh no, sorry, no, you're right. Chicago was the first one,
yeah.
And then L.A., Boston, and now Kansas. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, also like the original Stardust was created by a guy named Fletcher Hanks, who you could look up Fletcher Hanks if you like, but also you could not, because he was a terrible human being. Just terrible. But yeah, so they've part of when I backed the campaign back on Zoop, one of the things that came with it was like a digital copy with all the original Stardust strips, which are again just bizarre even for the era. Like they tried to replicate as much, because you would have folks who would have weird faces like that. Let me see if I can get this.
That's also very Dick Tracy.
Yeah, I mean, it's
the strangest looking
people you've ever seen. That
and expressions.
Yeah. So again, it's Stardust is like such a weird artifact from like a time when people didn't know what superheroes were supposed to be.
Well, a lot of early comics, like I don't think we talk enough about transitioning from comic strips.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where you had either the real cartoony comic strip style, and that led to your quote unquote funny books, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Or you had the real surreal, exaggerated, and sometimes even photorealistic kind of political cartoon style.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's where you get panels like what you just showed me.
Yeah,
It looks more like a political cartoon.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's a really good comparison.
It took us a while to get away from that.
Yeah.
And where comics develop more of their own style. But
so that's what I bought today. That's what I got. You know.
How much did that cost? Because I know it was a Kickstarter.
It was basically a crowdfunding thing too. I'll have to double check.
He's like, I funded it 4 years ago. I have no idea.
Pretty much, I funded it like a year ago. I can't.
That's what Kickstarters are like.
Exactly. You put like money in, maybe it'll come back out. We'll see. Like every so often.
Now I'm looking at that like, oh man, I have to get this.
Yeah, exactly. And like
my eyes turned to dollar symbols. I don't know if you could tell.
Thing.
Exactly.
Austin, tell us a little bit about what you bought last week.
Yeah, I have a pretty short week, so nothing too crazy, nothing huge. I guess I'll start with one that I know you like just mentioned and you don't have. So, Absolute Batman number 12 is one of the ones I got this week. I was actually just before I came on, I was finally catching up on stuff. I should be done by the weekend, and I was finally reading number 11.
You're going to finally make it make more sense that we're having you on this program.
Exactly. Really I'm like, it's getting bad because we're going to cycle through and it's going to be like, oh no, I still haven't caught up. But here are the books I mentioned when we started.
I just showed up to prove that I'm purchasing comics.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to get through it this weekend and then Watchmen came up, so then I was like, I'm going to have to wait to finish by next weekend.
No, I appreciate your commitment to that because that's a lot of work.
Yeah, but I've seen a ton of stuff from 12, and there's some crazy stuff going on in that issue that I did not expect to see. So I'm excited to talk about it with you guys once we all have it. We've all read it.
Well, maybe we can talk about it next week.
Yeah, for sure. My next one is Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum number 2.
Have you read the first
which
one yet?
Yes, I read that earlier today, and it's fantastic.
Isn't it wonderful?
Fantastic. It's so wonderful.
Good. Well, I read 2 today, and it's just as good, and it's just as bonkers. They're having so much fun with that.
Yeah, it reminded me, I was like, this must be what it felt like to be reading All-Star, like, back in the day. Like, this is just fantastic stuff.
Yeah, and I love the way it's somehow channeling weird out there 50s science fantasy stuff with Superman and is also like kind of modernized. I don't even know how to describe it.
It's this weird thing where like you can feel like Silver Age stuff and Morrison and just its own voice, like all mixed around, where like it feels wholly original.
Yeah.
While also you can kind of see what its influences are. But it doesn't feel too dragged in by them.
Well, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I also don't think it feels as, and maybe this will change as it goes along, because I mean we're only 2 issues in, and you've only read the first, but it doesn't read as serious as Morrison's All-Star, where he's got a lot of that Silver Age sensibility, but that is a real character-driven kind of book, and this is a lot more kind of loose and fun and just not taking itself too seriously.
But at the same time, I also think it's darker than All-Star is in places.
Well, that's, yeah.
Where All-Star does have like a very like hopeful, like even in the face of Superman dying, like he's like, golly, he's gonna do his best, he's gonna do everything. While this, you have stuff like, Lois being like, I don't know, like I'm 40, like I don't think I can date you anymore, like you're not aging, like you have stuff like that where it's like, oh man, like this is the type of stuff you don't really expect to see, in a Superman comic. It's just that's such a real moment between them.
Well, and I have to say the second issue is sillier.
Okay.
And, well, there's still serious stuff that happens in it, but like it's a giant kaiju fight. It's very silly, but it's very unpredictable, and the whole time I'm just questioning like how bad of an idea it was to test out kryptonite the way they're testing it.
Yeah. Well, that's some of the cool stuff in the first issue is because that's the like time kryptonite, the purple one.
Yeah.
And you have that whole thing where you fight Solomon Grundy, and every panel is out of order, and then he's like, "Okay, like focus, like let's get this straight," and then it shows you every single panel, but in the order that it happened. It's so cool.
It's really neat.
So cool.
It's
great stuff.
It's also the most, I don't know if endearing is the right word, but it's the most I've liked a Batman Superman dynamic in a really long time.
Sure, yeah, they're really cool together.
Especially in that second
also,
issue. Just all the problem solving with the pseudoscience is really fun to read about. Like they've really thought through how everything works, and it sounds like it makes sense and it's real science, and then you think about it for 5 seconds and you're like, wait a minute.
And I also laughed really hard at... Yeah, no, exactly. No, and I also laughed really hard at the idea that Professor Pig smokes fentanyl.
I mean, that just checks out, too.
See, you're bringing up stuff I forgot about, because it's been a month that I've got the second issue in my brain right now, so I forgot about some of that.
Well, and like that issue feels so huge too, and I imagine that the second one probably does too. And like I know they're oversized, but at the same time, there's just kind of like this like grand feeling to it, where like it really feels like a lot.
Well, one of my favorite things in the second issue, I'll try not to give too much away, but Lex, when he sees gigantic Superman, because the big cliffhanger in the first issue is he gets hit with another kind of kryptonite, and now he's growing, and the big thing Batman's trying to figure out is like how big he's going to grow, and they're figuring out the rate of growth, and at one point Superman's like, well, I've got to top out at some point. Like, there's no way I could just grow forever, right? And Batman goes, what's the DC living planet guy? Because Marvel's got Ego.
Is
it Mogo? There's another one that he mentions.
I think it is Mogo.
I think there's a different one that Batman mentions, but he's like, well, I mean, there's this, gigantic planet. Like, no, it's possible. Like, you could just grow forever. And anyway, so when Lex sees this, he's like, well, I gotta send something to go fight Superman. So he pulls out this giant chemical monster named Chemo, and he's got a radiation suit that's kind of like the Doomsday containment suit, and there's this full page spread where he's coming at the city, and he does the Doomsday thing where he's saying like Metropolis, and it's like the Doomsday thing,
nice,
with a chemical monster. It's great.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I've heard of that character. I'm trying to think of what I know Chemo from, but I have heard of that character.
Yeah, it seemed to ring a bell, but I don't know if I've ever read anything with it.
Yeah, it's one of those that just sounds familiar enough, but you can't quite place it. It's like it's somewhere in, the Rolodex of our brains. And
I know I said this last
yeah,
time,
exactly.
This Lex is, and somebody mentioned that I had said this before, but this Lex is so James Gunn, Nicholas Hoult Lex, where he's just like completely losing his mind in trying to take down Superman in any way possible, and does not care who he steps on, and just to an absurd degree. And in this, he's got one of his assistants saying, well, okay, we don't actually know how many people are going to get radiation poisoning and die if you do this. And Lex is like, I don't care. And he just sends him out. And he's like, acceptable.
I just had one of those, when you're watching a TV show and it's like the mystery and somebody says something and they go, oh, yeah, I just figured it out based on something you said.
Yeah.
I know Chemo because he's in Creature Commandos. He's like a background character in an episode. And I remember people being like, oh, Chemo is in the show.
People in the comments are saying that he showed up in Infinite Crisis and blew up Bloodhaven.
Oh, yeah, he's the one who blows up Bloodhaven. Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've read Infinite Crisis, too.
Yeah, me too.
By the way, I'd like to address Braden for a minute. Like, yes, I do actually know World War II was not 1941, at least not in the U.S. I just blanked on. I just threw a 1940s date. I just.
That's okay, Chris. We'll pull some funding together so you can go back to school.
Thank you. My grandfather's gonna haunt the crap out of me.
Austin, did you buy anything else this week?
Yes, I also have Godzilla Casey, however you say that, it's Japanese, #2, which is part of that new IDW Godzilla universe. That's like the main book, and then they have basically Godzilla Mad Max, and then Godzilla Space is the third book. And that one hasn't come out yet, but I've read the main two so far. And the main Godzilla book's pretty cool so far. It's this team that's there to hunt monsters. It's basically in like kind of a post-apocalypse kind of universe, but like the world's kind of been ravaged by monsters already, and we're kind of just dumped into it. And this is like in this main book, these are the people that are there to protect against them, and it's pretty cool so far. I'm excited to read the second issue. My next one is Batman Dark Patterns #10. I just started the third arc for that, and
you're way ahead of me on it. I've only read the first arc so far, so I bought that too, but I've not read it, of course. But I can show the cover.
That's a great.
There you go.
All of these covers have been great. Yeah. This is probably my second favorite so far. I really love it.
Yeah, it's that, and I think it's like 4 and I think 6 in the second arc. One of them is Scarface with the batarang in his head, and the other one's Batman over a building. Those were really great ones. But that's definitely up there, that #10. But that book just continues to be fantastic. I love the mix of like dark detective stuff and like slight horror and mystery and action.
Look at the panel layouts. Really look at it. It looks like a board game. Yeah. Come on.
I need to get caught on it just because I haven't gotten to the Scarface stuff
It
yet.
keeps going. The panel layouts look like this through the whole book.
It's amazing. But
I hope it's like some sort of like Riddler, like game.
Yeah, that's what they did Zero Year too.
I might just skip ahead and read this out of context. I don't even care. It's so freaking cool.
Can't believe it.
The colors in this book, dude.
Oh, absolutely fantastic.
So there's a lot of people calling for this to continue and be just regular ongoing, but I don't know how he's ending his last arc and if that would actually make sense and if you could do it.
Yeah, I don't know, because where I'm at in issue 3, like Batman's starting to connect things that have happened across the two stories so far. Mm-hmm. So like there are dark patterns going across the whole story. Like I do think it is probably going to be one complete.
You are up on your 12 review game, sir. Well done.
Right, but with what you're saying, Chris. Definitely read the Scarface thing. It's like it's up there with great Scarface stories. Yeah, it's fantastic.
As soon as I knew the twist about the building, it's like, okay, that's it. That's amazing.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
When I got to that, I was like, oh my god, that is the most amazing thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
You guys, I haven't even read this yet, and I feel very confident in saying this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about when I say if you want me to not feel horrible about paying $5 for a comic book, this is what you do. Mm-hmm. This is how you make me okay with too high of a price. Mm-hmm. Come on now.
It's that, and you need more fruit pie commercials. Add those in the middle, and
that would help a lot.
Lex Luthor just hasn't stole 30 pies.
That would help. And like you were talking about with Watchmen last night, Austin, we need to see it happen with really reprehensible characters, like, and really violent like we were talking about like Rorschach with it. I want to see it with absolute Batman. or even like Absolute Bane, with like Absolute Bane eating fruit pies would be just wonderful.
Well, I'll send it to you. It's like right at the start of Thunderbolts. I guess they saw like a fan made like parody of those old fruit pie commercials, and they were like, "Oh, like can we print this?" And they put it in the actual issue, and it's Zemo eating a fruit pie, and there's this like grotesque close up of him, and he's all scarred, and he's like, "This is scrumptious." It's fantastic.
Tyler Zaya says, "I'd like to take credit since I was the guy who kept begging you to read Dark Patterns." To be fair, though, I was really grabbed by the covers when I first started going back into a comic shop and thinking about getting back into new books. So, like, I was always gonna get this, and I didn't even start reading it until I found the first arc at Half Price Book for half cover. So I just kept seeing it on the shelf and going, I want to buy these eventually, but like I only finally did because I got the first 3 cheap, and then I went, okay, fine, this is great. So I started pulling it. But
yeah, no, and it's instantly just an amazing book. It's fantastic. My last book for the week is one that makes me very sad. It's my full circle book. It is the thing that got me back into reading. Yep. There you go. It is my book that gets me into monthly comics. Like 2 years ago now, I guess, which is crazy to think about. But yes, it's Transformers number 24. It is the end of Daniel Warren Johnson's run.
I'm gonna pretend like I bought this just to have a prop while Austin was talking.
Right? No, I'm so glad that you were like right there for it. You're like, here, I got it. But yeah, it is absolutely fantastic. It is a big action issue. The art is fantastic. We do a really cool what's the word I'm looking for? What's the thing? The Green Goblin thing. The choose sadistic choice.
Sadistic choice.
We do a big sadistic choice thing in it, and the way they do it is so violent and crazy and just awesome. And I think he's very generous with his final issue too, in that he leaves so many dangling threads for them to like keep running with. It's not like, okay, I'm closing up everything I did and then I'm leaving. So like I think that is really cool. He does tie up a lot of the big stuff for his run over like the last 3 issues, but it is cool that it isn't like that definitive. You know, it will just kind of continue the next issue, even though it's Kirkman. It's just the next issue.
You never feel as enticed to keep going on a book with a new creative team within the same numbering like you do with this, because you're going into Kirkman. Like, I don't think you'll see the numbers remotely fall off.
Right.
No, I'm really interested to see what happens with that, because they could get a boost from Kirkman, or maybe people will, maybe it'll drop down just a little bit, or it'll just stay even. I don't know.
I think his first issue will sell as much or more than this one probably did, and then it'll just depend on how that is. But Kirkman being Kirkman, I'm assuming it'll be the quality will be pretty good. But it's cool that he's got an act to follow.
Yeah,
it's cool that even though it's Kirkman, that looks hard though.
Yes.
And that's that's really cool. I went ahead and bought it. I'm not caught up. I've only read the first 2 arcs, and we've reviewed them. I went ahead and bought this because it being his last issue, it might be down the road one of the more valuable ones, and it's got a great cover. And I've bought 1 or 2 of these already for covers, and I'm considering going back and trying to get them all. And I was gonna just buy them and trade, but I really like the covers of these. I kind of want to go ahead and get, I've got so much going on my pull right now. Like, I don't know when I'll decide to drop the extra cash to buy all these in singles, but I think just over time when I find them at shops, I'll probably start grabbing them. And then I'm thinking about going ahead and putting the new run on my pull and just buying it from now on, because it's a really good jumping on place. But I probably won't start reading them until I'm caught up. And I'm not yet.
Yeah, and in the next few comic vaults of us going back and forth, I will pick those last 12 issues, because you
And
really
then I
kind of
catch
have to
up,
do
yeah.
them together. Yeah, exactly. It would be awkward if we just did the next 6. Like you kind of have to do the next 12, but
Oh, you mean all in one video?
yeah,
You told me about that. Yeah.
yeah. We would just be in a place where it's like, okay, here's all the cool ways we're setting up what the next 6 issues are going to be. But yeah, I know it was a fantastic issue. It broke my heart a little, but
When
I'm excited to see what Kirkman does.
when does he finally bring Megatron in? Because he just teases it forever.
It's like right at the end of the 3rd arc. That's kind of
Oh,
why
that's later than
I
I thought, or that's a little earlier than
yeah.
I thought.
Yeah, that's kind of why like I feel like it would be awkward for us just to do the next 6 cuz he kind of it's kind of squabbling through them and then Megatron comes in and he's like, "Okay, like we're going to do something."
I will
Like,
say,
you
I
know, here
think
we
he
go.
gets enough done in an issue, but they read relatively quick. I don't think doing 12 at once will be crazy.
No, I don't think so either. Like they are pretty quick reads because he's very good at knowing, and I think that's just part of being both a writer and an artist. He's good at balancing. Like, okay, we're gonna have a character beat, awesome action beat, character beat, action beat. Like he's very good at that. And his Megatron's like horrifying. There's a thing he does with the gun, and it's crazy.
I can't wait.
And Kirkman's always been not Kirkman. Johnson's always been amazing with like action sequences. At least a lot of the stuff of his I've read too. And
Yeah, that's why I'm really interested to see because he's doing the Absolute Batman annual. I think he's both writing and drawing it.
Yeah,
And I'm interested to see what that looks like because he's perfect for that
oh
material.
for sure, yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see somebody else write somebody's absolute character because that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it'll be, I think, like just before that Wonder Woman crossover. So it's like we'll get that, and then the Wonder Woman one, and then I think Wonder Woman's going into Batman after that. So like we're gonna start seeing like a little bit more of that, and it's
And
exciting.
there's already a lot more crossover talk now by the end of especially Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I forgot to mention at the start of the show, but as you probably saw in the title, that's what we're reviewing tonight.
Yes.
And I should mention, as I usually do, but forgot to do at the start of the show, that if you want to pick the recent series that we sample and review for next time, you can leave a super chat. And if we have any takers, we have a top super chatter tonight. We will review whatever you pick that's come out in just the last few years. We're pretty open. I think the oldest thing we've done so far is Geiger, which started in 21. So we'll go back at least that far. And if we have no takers tonight, we will finally review the first arc of Radiant Black.
Radiant Black is right there looking at us like, come on, A-Day now.
Which I've been trying
I just
to do
love
for the
this
last
as like a
5 weeks.
running joke though.
Someday
We're gonna
Radiant
finally
Black.
read it, and then
Yeah,
it gets taken.
It's right there. Any moment now. Any moment.
And I vow to not read an issue of that book until we finally get to do it.
I mean, look.
That's my vow.
I've got a couple issues that like I should read this. It might be fun. They go in the pile. They get mixed up with everything else.
And he's like, somebody's going to bring it up on late night. Yeah.
Exactly. Any day now. Any day.
Austin, anything else you wanted to mention about Transformers or anything else?
No, I'll say too because I know Toxic Crusader came out last week, but
Yeah.
for some reason some of these things are delayed digitally. So like for me that comes out in like a week.
Oh, okay.
So like there will be books that I bring on that maybe aren't exactly brand new, but like they are to me. So
I'll be curious to hear you talk about that because I thought it was pretty crazy they were doing that.
yeah, and I love the main Toxic Avenger book right now. I'm very mixed on Toxic Team Up, but the Toxic Avenger book is really cool.
I saw a Toxic Crusader shirt the other day too. It's like from that golden era where you could make, a trauma movie into a kid's cartoon.
Well, it's oddly the year of Toxic Avenger, and the reason that guy had that shirt could possibly be because of the game coming out.
Probably, yeah.
And
I forgot about that.
I think that's supposed to be in the next few weeks, next couple weeks. I'm not sure exactly when. I've been kind of hoping, Austin, that we could time it. Where it's still kind of relevant with the new Toxic Avenger movie coming out, and with that, nobody's gonna care anyway. But with that game coming out, that we could finally do a mini marathon on that cartoon show, because I've never seen it, and it is easily streamable. So I thought it might be kind of funny if we did that. But we've got some big plans for. Like off-the-cuff shows, or off-the-cuff, unplanned shows that we've got to do soon. We've got some lists to go through and stuff, so I don't know if we can work it in, but...
Yeah, we'll probably get it in somewhere.
But
and on Rewind, we could probably do some sort of, like, sequel month as well, where we do sequels to movies that we've done, and we can do Toxic Avenger, too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
you're like, sure, except for that one. We'll try to get that off the month. But
so you're thinking we do a month for sequels of things we've already done? Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's what I was thinking. That'd be a good idea. Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I'm just throwing out ideas at you.
No, that's totally like we can finally do the first sequel to Darkman.
Yep.
That was so enthusiastic.
That's one we could do, I guess.
Austin and I are both terrified to ever have to sit through those.
Yeah.
We don't want to do it, but there they are, and at some point we'll have to.
Do RoboCop 2.
Blade 2, though? We've done Blade.
Blade 2.
Yeah, Blade 2.
Yep.
Right.
We could do a mix of good and probably not so good.
There's a lot of movies to get through.
Yeah, but we haven't done the first
Winter
one yet.
Soldier is the second one.
Oh, yes,
that we could do
because
as
we've
well.
done First Avenger. That's true. And what's funny is out of 49 movies so far, I don't think we've done more than 2 MCU.
Oh, wow.
I think you're right. I think it's only First Avenger and Doctor Strange, too.
Doctor Strange, too, that's right.
Well, if you do Winter Soldier, I mean, R.I.P. Robert Redford.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be President Robert Redford.
President Robert.
Austin,
but anyways, I'm just planning ideas with you. At this
really
point, we're not even doing
this
show anymore. I've hijacked it.
Yeah, because the show isn't long enough as it is.
Exactly. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Very strict format here.
Well, Austin, thanks for coming in, man. We appreciate you as always.
Yeah, no worries. And I think I've got like a couple of crazy big weeks over the next few, so I'll probably have a lot more than just my couple of the next few.
Nuts. We're both gonna have some things we'll want to talk about together, and we're playing catch up with Absolute Batman, so we're still gonna have stuff even from previous weeks to talk about.
True, yeah. And then I think KO starts next month, right?
Yeah, I think
or am I wrong about that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll probably pick that up as well. So.
Yeah, I was hoping we could talk about that together. I mean, if it sucks, drop it. But
yeah, no, that's the thing. If it sucks, I'll just drop it. But I'll at least pick up the first issue.
Well, Austin, we're gonna go ahead and move on. Thanks for
I'll
coming
talk to you guys later.
For this, it's been great having you on for a segment for each of you. Appreciate it, man.
See you, Austin.
Yeah, see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and go through the couple of other things I have from last week. Here is Space Ghost number 2, and as I keep saying, this is Space Ghost Season 2 number 2.
Yeah.
But the first issue of this is a wonderful jumping on point. If you missed the first 12 in the annual, you can easily move forward with that. And somehow, I think Peppo's has really stepped his game up, and as much as I like the first one, these first 2 issues already 2 of the best issues of the series.
Right.
And continuing... And one of the things I think he's getting better at, too, is just making these more compelling one-and-done stories. He already had that, but each issue, like I've said before, feels like an episode of a cartoon show, but a little bit more sophisticated, a little more character-driven than you would have gotten in, a 70s or 80s Saturday morning cartoon. And in this issue, Space Ghost meets up with an old flame that is kind of his Catwoman. I didn't expect him to have a Catwoman, but he does. And I'm forgetting her name right off. I actually read this just before we came on tonight. Eclipse Woman. And so we're getting into characters from Space Ghost that I've never heard of.
Right.
That are more obscure and weren't used in Coast to Coast and stuff, or didn't come up very much. And I'm wondering at what point he's going to have to start making up characters, because it's not like there's a ton of Space Ghost.
I was about to say, the Hanna-Barbera series didn't go that long.
No, it wasn't very long, but they didn't have a lot of repeat characters either, so a lot of those episodes made up characters.
Yeah.
But you do get kind of a big classic Space Ghost thing where he fights a big energy monster, and that's pretty cool, and it's a really difficult thing to beat. And it's fun the way they end up beating it. But basically, Eclipse Woman used to be Space Ghost's superhero sidekick, or so he thought. And then it turned out that she was just using him, and when she didn't need him anymore, she kind of kicked him to the curb. And again, she's like Catwoman, so she steals stuff. She's kind of a fence, and she kind of a smuggler. And she stole a prototype of Space Ghost power bands, which she's been using ever since then, and that becomes a big plot point in this. And then at the end of the issue, as you might expect, they have an uneasy alliance, and then it looks like maybe she'll turn over another leaf, but of course not, and she just steals something else of Space Ghost. And we'll see her again down the road, I'm sure. But anyway, I've been over the moon about this series all the way through, but it's getting even better somehow, and increasing the cast of characters is just making it feel a lot richer of a world as it continues. Something else it does that I loved at the start is anytime you have cool references to the Cartoon Network stuff, I get kind of giddy. And there's a flashback where he first meets Eclipse Woman, where he uses the alias Tad Ghostal.
Nice.
which is Space Ghost's real name in Coast to Coast. And I was hoping that would come up at some point. In this series, his real name is Dax, which comes from somewhere, the cartoon, or maybe old comics. I can't remember, because this draws from everything little thing we've had with Space Ghost, because there hasn't been a lot, but Pepos knows about all of it.
Well, I was gonna say the Joe Kelly series from the 2000s. His real name was like Thaddeus and those, and that was supposed a nod to like
that was
Tad
a nod to that.
Yeah.
And then I bought yet another one of these, because I've been collecting all of these variants for DC Sonic #1. This continues to be the series that I have bought the most copies one issue for, and people keep making fun of me for these covers, but I bought the other three, so I had to have this one, and I assume we'll probably get the Wonder Woman one at some point. But it's weird how much they've spaced these out, because the series has been done for a little while now, but we're still getting variants of issue 1. So there's that. And then for back issues, so it's just odd, Chris, the way my luck has been going with this. I've started buying Topps Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Which is not a super plentiful series, so they tend to be in the $8 to $10 range.
Okay.
And sometimes you can get them a little cheaper.
Yeah.
And so I bought the first Topps Jurassic Park. So that was a 4-issue miniseries that just did the movie.
Yeah.
And then they did a bunch of sequels even before Lost World came out.
Oh, wow.
And they're bonkers and horrible. But the covers are really great. And I've decided I'm gonna eventually buy all of it. I am full on collecting this now.
Yeah.
So I bought the first one in a poly bag. And so I've not actually opened that, but I went in and I read it digital. And then the art is hilarious. And then 2, I found on its lonesome at some comic shop when I was in St. Louis, I think, or somewhere. And then I just ran into, at the regular shop I go to, number 3 all by itself. I have been finding these in the order I need them, with nothing else around them.
It is destiny for you to get like a whole run now, too. It's
Isn't
like,
that
you need
weird?
this. Yeah.
I suspect when I find 4, there won't be any other issues around them.
Exactly.
Or around it. It's crazy. Now, I will say...
The shops, like, the owner's just going to be like, Hey, that wasn't there yesterday.
I will say the shop I go to in Topeka had 2 of the sequel minis complete, and I was real tempted.
Right.
But I was buying other stuff that day, and they were like, I think respectively $30 and $40, and I was like, do I want to spend $70 on Jurassic Park today?
Yeah.
So I didn't, but hopefully he still got them, and I can go back and piece those out. And then finally, I bought Batman 398 because I'm always gap filling my old Batman's, Chris, and this is just a really great Batman Two-Face cover.
Oh, nice.
My wife was really excited about this one, and it's in rockin' shape. This was just a $3 issue. It's not worth much, but it looks spectacular.
Yeah. What year is it from?
This would be probably... Oh, this is just around Crisis. This is 86.
Oh, wow.
Yep. I was gonna say that number. It's somewhere in the or in the early to mid 80s.
Yeah.
But yes, 86. So right around Watchmen, which we just reviewed last night. Anyway, so that's all my stuff from last week, Chris. Isn't that exciting?
It's very exciting.
And it was fun to hear about the one big volume that you bought.
Yes,
which is bizarre. And this is why I keep bringing you and Austin on, because you guys are both looking at stuff I would never think to look at, and adding a lot of variety and broadening out what people can go check out.
Look, we love the deep cuts. Love those deep cuts.
It's all about the deep cut. Nicholas Bodo says that cover looks iconic, doesn't it, though?
It really does.
It's wonderful. Okay, Chris, let's go ahead and knock out cover of the week real quick.
Yes.
And then we'll try to put our bracket together.
Sounds good.
Hopefully that doesn't take all night, but we'll try that out.
Yeah.
Our cover from last week is actually from a few years before that Batman that I just showed you. This is from 1977, so this would have been the same year the movie came out.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know what month this was. I don't know if this is pre or post the movie. But let me go ahead and pull up the panels here. And we are looking at Superman 317. So that numbering seems pretty well in line with Batman.
Yeah.
Where Batman, that was 398. That's, 6-7 years after this. And this is 317 for Superman.
Yeah.
So those numbers lined up pretty well.
Currently,
And this issue is nuts.
Yes, it is.
It is bat stuff crazy,
yeah.
Chris. Tell us a little bit about this.
Okay, so, I mean, first of all, Metallo's just being Metallo. Metallo's, he's got a teleportation gun now, too.
Metallo, I gotta say, did not have the best look.
No,
in that period. And it's sad because he's kind of badass in this.
Well, this was, I was looking this up, too. This was, like, his... big, like, it was like the first, I want to say it was like the first time anybody had seen him in like a couple decades.
Oh, really?
Because there was like stuff in the 40s, like probably 41. It's just a year I'm throwing out. And then
you're right in the middle of World War II.
Yeah, right in the middle of World War II, obviously. Yeah. But then like he has some little appearances here and there, and then it wasn't until I want to say...
I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. Yeah. So speaking of not doing years right, 78.
70, well...
I always do this because of Star Wars.
Fair
Star Wars
enough.
77, Superman 78.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
But yeah, like... And then they... like.
And I think the Wonder Woman TV show is 77. I think that also throws me off.
That's true, yeah.
Isn't that right?
Which...
Because isn't that what the comics did, where it was like Superman 66 and then Wonder Woman 70?
Yeah.
77?
I think so.
Am I right?
I want to say so, but I'm blanking right now, too, on just... Because
I'm just second guessing everything.
Yeah.
Anyway, but tell us about this.
Mattel comes in, but Mattel's also fighting. What was it, like the Skull or?
Yeah. So there's this organization called Skull, which is an acronym for something, I'm sure. And they created Metallo. They made him more machine than man, and they replaced his heart with fake kryptonite.
Yeah.
And he's very upset about what has been done to him, and so he is trying to destroy them with a machine. This is simultaneously goofy and also weirdly involved.
Yeah, because like
I was surprised by the amount of like just politics surrounding like everything that's going on. You had like this 3-pronged war where it's like Superman versus Skull, Metallo versus Skull, Superman versus Metallo.
And then, like, on top of it, when
and he's got this. Sorry, I was going to say, just in finishing the synopsis, he's got a device that lets him teleport anything he wants to himself, and it gets oddly gruesome.
Yeah, when he's got like hearts and jars and stuff.
It's messed up where he teleports.
I do like the puzzle panels too, where it's
great.
putting the puzzle pieces together. Okay, that's cool.
It's great. He teleports in order to get revenge on these guys.
Right.
Their hearts out of their chests.
Yeah.
As kind of dramatic irony.
Mm-hmm.
And then he wants to do it to Superman so that he can get, I guess, Superman's powers.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll get a super heart.
Right.
And
the super
did
heart.
I read this wrong? I think he achieves it.
So
there was something at the end about Superman actually getting his heart removed and fixing it, and I wasn't totally sure what was going on.
So, like, the way I understood it, because the whole issue is really involved, and then when you get... I love this panel,
sorry,
by the way.
I don't mean to interrupt you,
yeah.
but we do have to mention as we're going through panels how friggin' lucky Superman gets that there are no cars driving on this bridge. He's like, I've got to move this bridge so... Again, this thing is absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
There is you won't even believe all of this is in one comic.
know, right?
And this is in the middle of an arc.
I know,
this is a multi-part story. We're in the middle of it, and this much happens in an issue. This is what I'm talking about with what's wrong with comics today.
Exactly, yeah.
You freaking got your 35 cents worth, okay? Yes, you did. Now I'm spending friggin' $5 on a comic. And you know what I'm not getting?
What's that?
I'm not getting Skull, Metallo getting hearts and jars that he's teleporting out of people.
Right.
Superman having to move a bridge
so
that a missile doesn't collide into something and destroy not just the bridge, not just the city, not the world, but the universe, because the missile is antimatter.
Oh, yeah.
The missile is antimatter.
Yeah. And, like, the way...
You're not going to get all of that in a comic today.
No, and the way they beat Metallo is, like...
Look how gruesome it is.
I know, right? But, yeah... Like, the end, you have to, like, almost diagram, because, like, it was Superman's heart, but also it wasn't, because he went to, like, he shrunk himself to go a candor, and this is all, like, 2 pages, by the way, too.
Yeah, that was so condensed, I had no idea what was happening. I didn't know what the candor thing was about.
Yeah, and then, like, he's like, I'm gonna get another heart that he can swap instead. You see, it's a Kryptonian heart, but it's not my Kryptonian heart.
That's what it was?
I think, maybe, but then, like, he was... like, oh no, I'm going to pretend like I have kryptonite, so I'm going to wear makeup that I'm going to apply really fast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And but like... also he had plastic surgery, too.
Yeah, and then you get to the end, and there's this sudden out of nowhere, especially if you haven't been reading this, but there's this sudden out of nowhere cliffhanger.
Yeah.
That's a dramatic relationship cliffhanger after all of the just nutso superhero stuff we've had, where Clark is getting a new partner because he's working at instead of the Daily Planet,
6 o'clock news,
WGBS or whatever it is. And occasionally we do that with Clark and Lois, where we'll bounce around, and sometimes there'll be like TV newscasters. And so we're in that era,
right?
And you get to the very end, and you've got Morgan Edge, who runs the news, the TV news department, and he's brought in a new partner for Clark, and it's gonna be Lana Lang.
Yeah, I was like, all right, that's out of nowhere, but okay.
And I gotta tell you, I wanted to read the next issue.
I know, right? It's like, I'm interested.
I really did. Look at their cool skull table.
Right.
This thing is, like, it's a little... Some of this is a little toyetic, even.
A little bit,
Metallo doesn't look great.
No, I mean, Metallo's look better.
But the skull guys are cool.
Yeah. I will say, too, that the bit at the end where they're like, yeah, Metallo also had plastic surgery to make himself look like the news anchor. And then they introduce Morgan Edge, who At least in Smallville's, where they switched actors, Sibley also got like magic plastic surgery.
That's true.
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking about the Rutger Hauer of it all, and how that's kind of the same thing. Yeah, that's so weird.
Yeah. I just love how Superman's
Austin says that's Punisher's dinner table.
Yes.
It is.
A very, very angry brunch at that table.
Or Skeletor.
Skeletor. It's like, oh, he brought me over for Thanksgiving. All he wants to do is talk about He-Man. But, I mean, the whole... Again, this was a comic that you read and you had to take notes. You had to, like, chart it out, too. And, like, again, I didn't dislike it. Like,
it's so dense.
It's so dense. It's so dense. There's everything.
Dude, I didn't just, like, not dislike it. I loved this. I thought this was spectacular.
Yeah. But, again, like, the one thing I really liked...
It was ridiculous in all the right ways.
Exactly.
Yes, the ending is too easy, and I didn't even know what was happening with some of it.
Yeah.
But I was just refreshed by... like how much was happening and how out there it was, and how simultaneously sort of like what we were talking about with Kryptonite Spectrum.
Yes.
How on one hand Silver Age-y it is, and how on the other hand kind of dark and sometimes uncomfortable it is.
Yeah.
And it's neat to see a Superman just pre-Crisis.
Yeah,
who kind of gets his ass handed to him a couple of times.
Yeah,
like he goes through some stuff, and I'm not saying that he's like a wimp or pathetic,
right.
but he's
getting poisoned from the inside out, or at least you think so.
And yeah, it does take kryptonite to do some of it.
Yeah,
but there's some panels where he's having a bad day, and it looks like he's having you kind of feel for him. He just doesn't feel like Perfect can do anything Superman.
Well, even like a lot of, the bits.
And I was kind of surprised to see that just pre John Byrne.
Yeah,
because you think of this as the era where he's juggling planets,
right.
And maybe without the kryptonite he would be, but some of those panels there's just a little bit of pathos in it. It was nice to see that.
Well, even like a lot of like the bits with the skulls too, where like he's carrying their dead bodies out because their hearts have been removed. It's like that's kind of hardcore, you know?
It's just cool that it's willing to go there.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of an edge to this comic. There's a little bit of a Morgan edge. Exactly.
Yeah, but again, too, the one thing I did kind of like, some of the panel work is kind of interesting, especially like when he's piecing the thing together and it's the little jigsaw bands. Like, all right, that's a nice touch.
I love that. Isn't there a bit where he says, I don't know how to solve this. I'm no Batman.
I think so.
That was great.
Yeah. There was like a part where, the editors are like, well, we're not going to tell you what this is. Well, we're not going to spoil that. Like, all right.
Yeah, I liked all the editorial asides.
Yeah.
Like, again, there's a bit of an edge to it, but it's not taking itself too seriously.
No, it's...
it feels like a comic that is written simultaneously for kids and adults.
Yes.
Both.
Right. There's enough to really hammer home the stakes of the story too, but it's also ridiculous.
It's
too.
So ridiculous.
Yeah. Here's a question. Like, I don't know if anybody.
This might be my favorite cover of the week so far.
So far, yeah. Well, I was gonna say the one thing that ending kind of reminds me of. So there's going into TTRPG talk here for a minute.
Oh God, we're back to that.
There's a game.
Well, he's wearing his D20 shirt.
Wearing my D20 shirt. I gotta go for it. I'm not sure how many here are familiar with the game Blades of the Dark or the Forge of the Dark system, but there's a mechanic where if you have a tool...
Sorry, Brayden says, if this is a modern Marvel, this issue would be a whole run.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong. There's not a whole lot of decompression there.
I gotta read that next issue.
But, like, there's a mechanic where if you have an item, if you're going to shoot the demon with a gun... you could actually go through a whole thing and flashback. I forget, it's like just in case, where it's like, well, no, I'm going to play this out mechanically. I actually forged these guns with cold iron and with, and you could go through the backstory of why you killed a demon just by shooting him. And that's what that reminded me of. Just like, no, here's how Superman survived his heart being kryptonite. The real aside that somebody just kind of thought of in like that moment. Like, no, here's how we did it.
It's like, well, we can't stretch this to another issue.
Yeah, exactly.
So we got to get that in 2 pages.
We got to get this out right here.
All right, Chris, are you ready for phone shaking?
Yes, I am.
All right, now the rule is if it's too recent, we reserve the right to shake again.
If it's too bad,
or if it's something
right.
that's too close to something we've had already, like recently, I guess we could also do this. So we reserve the right to reshake the phone.
If it's too close to something we've already read, or too close to something we just don't want to read.
So once again, CLZ, you can't see this, but CLZ Comics, that's my comics database. I'm currently sitting on 10,094 comics. One of those will come up, and we will read it for next time, and we will show the cover for tonight to be tonight's cover of the week.
All right.
And here comes the shake.
Shake.
I'm always nervous about this.
Loading. Oh, Batman Legends of the Dark Knight just popped up.
Okay. So I recently massively increased my number of this book. I had probably 20 or 30 before.
Okay.
And I probably have half this run now.
Yeah.
And this went into the hundreds. Like this is a long run.
Well, I remember that series was kind of a big deal back in the 90s too. Like there was even like an action figure line with like
I had those
with like super jacked Riddler too.
There's a big bane in it.
Yeah.
That swivels at the waist where he spins all the way around 360.
We had super
I think
jacked
the
Riddler
Scarecrow
before.
does that too.
Super jacked Riddler before we made fun of him. Touche.
Well, yeah, but you had Super Jack Riddler in Nightfall just before that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't know how well this is going to read on its own because these tended to be in three or four issue story arcs. But this is issue 58 of Legends of the Dark Knight. So let's pull that up so everybody can see it. It's 1994.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the show we're doing now could be like 3 completely different streams.
Probably, actually, yeah. I will say, Austin, that song is stuck in my head now.
We're like this. We're trying to get as much done as possible in an issue.
Exactly.
Okay, so 58. Sorry, I gotta keep us on track here, Chris.
Yes, that's fair enough.
I gotta keep us on track. So, 58. This is the cover, Storm, and let's see who wrote this one. I'm already out of it. Hold on. I always do this. 58.
Is it Graham Brand or?
Andrew Duncan is the writer, which is not a name I recognize. And the artist is John Higgins. So I don't know either of these guys right off.
Yeah. Related to Kyle
Sounds
Higgins.
like fill-ins. But we'll see if it's any good. That's a neat cover, though.
It is. Yeah. No, I like that.
I like that. You know what this is?
What?
Well, it's the opposite of Matt Fraction's Batman because you have a storm.
That's true.
And I forgot to talk about this last week when we reviewed his Batman #1.
Yeah.
But I talked about this in a few weeks ago on this show about how Fraction did an interview making a big deal out of how it doesn't rain in his Gotham anymore.
Right.
The opening page, the first conversation that's happening is about how long it's been since it rained in Gotham. I didn't know he meant it literally.
I guess not. Yeah.
I couldn't believe it was like a plot point at the start. Like, oh, there's no rain.
Doesn't rain anymore. Sorry.
Are you serious? It's actually in the book. I couldn't believe it.
Crops are dying upstate.
I couldn't believe it.
I mean, that's a very Fraction thing too.
Austin says 50 was the one he had. Well, I think issue 50 of Legends of the Dark Knight is the Joker with the smiling cat cover.
Oh, yes.
I think that's 50.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a like recreation of a real early Joker story.
I can see.
Maybe even like the first Joker story. I can't remember.
Joker's always making animals smile. It's fish, it's
cats.
Yeah.
I've got that too. I've got the Joker fish cover. Sorry, let me pull that up real quick because I'm almost positive that's what that is. 50. Yeah, that's what it is. Look at me. I remembered an issue number.
Yeah.
Images. Yeah. Isn't that creepy?
It is, yeah.
I think we should leave that there and just make you stare at it for a while.
Exactly.
It's so creepy.
Hey, who wants nightmares? Where are you planning on sleeping tonight? You're not now. Just thinking too, I had a trading card of that back in the day too. That back when they're doing like the Batman trading card sets where they had like individual ones for each of the villains. Like they had like a really cool one with like the mud pack where it had like the 4 clay faces.
Remember that?
Yep. I remember the mud pack.
I feel like that came up last week for some reason, but yes, I've got the mud pack
It
issue.
did because I looked at the Dark Patterns cover, and that was that was thing I thought
reminded you of
yeah.
that. Yeah. Well, that Dark Patterns cover for this week that we were gushing over is really that era.
Yes. Yeah. And I think we're kind of going in a lot of ways too.
I think he's looking. Actually, it's kind of cool that we're doing Legends of the Dark Knight next week because I feel like he's looking at that book hard.
It seems like that there's been a big turn just as a brand and as like a franchise that Batman's kind of looking back. Like Fraction brought back the blue and gray too, and again, that's like the Batman that I know I grew up with, and that was the Batman at least in the early days.
We're just missing the basics.
And I think that's been kind of cool seeing like what people are going back to. And
Venom ASM 66 is a name I don't recognize. Hi there. What did you guys think of Spider-Man 94? Chris hasn't read it yet. I reviewed it last week.
I skimmed it too.
Last week's show. So just skim around our 3.5 hours and you'll find my review of that.
Exactly.
But I was lukewarm on it. I didn't dislike it as much as a lot of people seem to be.
Yeah.
But I also wasn't real impressed either.
Yeah.
And I think it could get better, but I'm not holding my breath. I'll say that. And there was some weird art in that.
Yeah, I mean,
also, I just don't like Moreland, and I didn't want to go to that, but I already knew we were doing that before I went into it, so I came in as open-minded about it as I could.
And the art was weird too because it sort of forgot it was supposed to be a throwback because there are parts of it that was like.
See, I felt that way less than you did.
Yeah.
But...
So I mean, it's just funny too. But again, Moreland, there's a reason he's not in the Spider-Verse movies. There's a reason there. I'm just saying. Like, there's
Which is funny because that whole idea comes from the Spider Totem thing in the first place.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, it is kind of weird though that you had the multiverse in the animated series, and now that's what Spider-Man is. That's basically what Spider-Man's like, a multiverse character, and I don't know.
You know how I feel about that.
It's just,
Are you ready to go on to our bracket?
I'm ready to bracket all.
We're gonna try not to spend too long on this. But Chris and I are, and you guys feel free to help us out. Give us your feelings on each of these matchups, and we'll take your thoughts to heart. But ultimately, we'll make the last decision. And I think the way we'll do this, Chris, is we can talk it out for a second.
Yeah.
But we'll take turns. And on our turn, we have the final say.
Sounds good.
Is that fair?
That works.
Of which one, where it goes. Now,
yeah.
What I'm trying to decide is if we want to go for who we think would practically more likely... I can't believe we're doing this. I hate this exercise generally. But who we actually think would win the fight, or trying to get in the author's head and say, what is Snyder going to do with this story?
Right. And, I'll tell you the truth, too. I can be a sucker for, like, some of the death battle stuff, too. Like, I watch that YouTube show all the time because I'm like, they're going to talk about how to do, like, a Comic Con with math. And there's our stats there. So, again, I'm not sure how much of that we're going to do here, but I'm not sure. Again, I'm not a physics major, so...
All right. Well, I don't want to get too in the nitty-gritty with any of this, but like I said, it's just are we thinking about Snyder and getting his hit in his head?
Yes.
I think to some degree I want to do that.
Yeah,
to some degree.
I will say too, as soon as we get to Batman, I know we're gonna get the word prep time in all the comments. I read Tower of Babel. I like Tower of Babel, but
Well, and naturally, of course, you've got Let me look for a second, because I was gonna say I thought you had Superman and Batman on opposite sides.
You
do.
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
you do. So the immediate assumption would be they both get to the semifinals and you end up with Superman versus Batman.
Right.
But I don't know if he'll be that obvious.
Yeah.
And I originally thought it was going to come down to Superman and Lex Luthor. I remember I had that whole prediction.
Yeah.
And that Superman would let Lex win.
Mm-hmm.
But they're on the same side.
Yeah.
Which means that could still happen.
Right.
But then Superman doesn't get all the way to the semifinals or to the finals.
Yeah.
And then the problem with that whole idea is we know that this is supposed to be primarily a Superman focused story.
Yeah.
Like Snyder has made a big deal out of this is Superman soul searching, and I worried that even engaging in this goes against his morality. So is he gonna drop out of the story at some point and it shift to be somebody else's narrative? Like, it sounds like he's the main character of this, at least to some degree.
Yeah. So I imagine he's probably just gonna go pretty far, and like not to like.
So I keep thinking he's gotta. Sorry, I keep thinking he's gotta get all the way to the second to last round.
Yeah.
Or sorry, to the last round, and then he let somebody win.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, not to like jump ahead too, but in the first round he's fighting. Who is he fighting? Giganta.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you're not a pro wrestling guy, so you probably don't know what the term jobber means.
I don't.
So in pro wrestling parlance, you've got like your big name wrestlers, your superstars, stuff like that. And then you've got the opponent who's just there to do the job. Who's just there to put the other guy over, just there to, just doing their job. They're going to go in, they're going to try and make the other person look good. They pinned, and then they go home. They get their pay. It's pin me and pay me.
Tyler says my money is on Lex. See, I had that too, but with him and Superman on the same side and it being apparently kind of Superman's story, I don't know now.
Yeah.
But I might be... I might be overstating that, and it's possible that that's true for like 2/3 of the story, and then that changes toward the end. Anyway, let's go ahead and start getting into this.
Sounds good.
So, I'll take the first round.
Okay.
And you can fight me on wherever we're at.
Let me tell you about Giganta.
There's no chance Giganta beats Superman in the first round because he's Superman.
Yeah.
And because apparently the story is about him.
Yeah.
So that's easy.
That's what I'm saying. You're doing the job.
This is where this isn't as much fun as like sports.
Yeah.
Because we're not really betting on real people and their abilities. We're betting on a single guy telling a story.
Yeah. And so you're not.
There's an artist too, but like he's
Well, yeah, but you're not gonna have the
story.
upset. You're not gonna have like the Cinderella team coming in too.
Do you want to go back and forth on the sides? Like, do you want me to do all of this side and you do all of this side?
That works for me. I'm cool with either.
I didn't even think of that. I guess we could do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the right side, you've got Wonder Woman versus Starro.
Yeah, I don't see Starro going over there. I don't see.
Even if he should maybe win that fight if she's on her own.
I feel like
Wonder Woman is, Trinity and important, and she's going to make it at least around 2.
Yeah. I kind of feel like the only way Starro gets anything close to a victory is if, like, Wonder Woman gets, like, brainwashed, and Wonder Woman gets, like, Starro just on her face, and... just
they might do that. They might do that, but she's still gonna win it.
Yeah, she's still gonna win it, and she's still gonna show up in like the semifinals. Just
Okay, so now I got Captain Atom versus Power Girl, and I feel like that could go either way.
It can.
Partly because neither of those is a big enough character that anybody's gonna have like too huge of an issue with who moves on. You know what I mean? Just popularity wise or whatever. So I'm going to have a hard time with each of these not assuming the underdog will win just to surprise the audience. So I'm going to say this will be one where he'll actually do the obvious thing to almost throw us off in that way.
Exactly, yeah.
And I'm going to say Captain Atom wins that round.
Fair enough.
That's what I think, folks.
There's a ton of writers who want just to have like Dr. Manhattan in their story too. If they can't, the person they go to is Captain Atom. So it just depends if Snyder wants to,
Robert Starro deserves better. Yeah, but they're not gonna let him. They're gonna let Wonder Woman get beaten by.
And I will say that when I say jobber, I'm not sure if Starro is kind of Starro's more like a big Van Vader. He's gonna make whoever he's working with look good.
Let's keep rolling along here. Lobo and Plastic Man.
That is also kind of a go either way too. It's like, how do you kill either of them? My gut says Lobo.
Me too.
My gut says Lobo.
And this is where I'm thinking about Snyder.
Yeah.
Like, Snyder will just have more fun with Lobo.
That's true.
Lobo's just more of a Snyder-esque character.
Yeah. I mean, Plastic
so
Man...
I agree with you.
Yeah. Plastic Man you can do fun stuff with, but, like, not... I don't think that's quite like Snyder's sensibilities, too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, next up, I have Guy Gardner and Firestorm. And my gut with that... Again, I'm having a hard time looking at the actual characters and not just thinking about the writing and what's been going on lately. And I'm like, Guy Gardner was just in a movie and he's kind of having a moment right now.
Right.
He's going to beat Firestorm. He's going to get at least to the second round.
If anything, too...
He matters too much right now.
Yeah, if anything, too, Guy Gardner has more personality than Firestorm, too.
Also feels like a character that he would have more fun writing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, next you get Swamp Thing versus Vixen.
Oh, man,
that one seems easy to me.
I mean, I gotta give it a Swamp Thing just because, like, again, I've played the Injustice games. I know that, like, Swamp Thing could just...
I forgot he was in that for a second.
Yeah, Vixen was, too.
Yeah, Austin loves Swamp Thing in those games.
Yeah.
Or in that game. Vixen was in that? I forgot all about
Vixen
that.
was like an alternate skin for like Cheetah or somebody.
Oh,
yeah,
that's why I didn't remember that.
Kind of like the same thing they did, how they had Bizarro in the game. And
so are you going with Swamp Thing?
I'm going with Swamp Thing.
I figured.
Yeah.
I figured.
And I think there's a lot, I mean... I think that'd be an interesting fight because you can kind of play into like the green and the red and all that too. So I think they could do interesting things with it. So
that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Mm-hmm. Okay, next up, I've got Jay Garrick versus Cheetah.
Ooh. That's an interesting one.
Now did I read something about... No, maybe it was the original Green Lantern. I thought that like Jay Garrick was in a book recently and people really hated him, but I think I'm thinking actually about Alan Scott. Maybe.
Yeah, they've had brought Alan Scott like back a few times. Sometimes it's worked better than others, but
one thing I gotta be careful of with here too is he's not gonna let all the chicks get beat in the first round.
Well, yeah.
And so I do have to think about that a little bit. Because my immediate thought is Jay Garrick, but given that Cheetah is like Wonder Woman's big villain,
so
and you gotta assume, and like I'm not gonna play 5-dimensional chess with this, but you gotta assume that at some point we'll end up with at least, I just have this thought, with at least a couple of traditional meetups.
Yeah, you're gonna have the grudge matches,
which will be surprising when we finally get there. Where it's like, oh my god, you never thought Wonder Woman and Cheetah would actually find each other.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
But like that could happen. Yeah. So I actually think I'm gonna give that one to Cheetah.
Right. That makes sense.
Also, because it would be a more interesting fight if she won it. Because how exactly does she? Because the thing is, obviously, Cheetah can't move as fast as the Flash.
Yeah.
But she's still like cat-like and agile and kind of fast.
Yeah.
So she might be able to use her surroundings in some way that can stop him in his tracks.
Right.
And then there's also just the age thing, I guess.
I mean, that's... And again, it comes down to...
I'm surprised he's in this, by the way.
I am too, yeah. And it also comes down to, like, Cheetah is a character I can see Snyder having more fun writing than Jay Garrick, too. And Jay Garrick...
And how many flashes make it, and which ones. Although, who do we even have? Like, is he the only Flash?
He might be.
I'm looking through here, and I don't see a Wally West or a Barry Allen or anybody.
Wally's had, like, a hard few years, too.
Well, then that's the we also have to consider that, then, though. Maybe she can't win that round if he's the only Flash. I'm going to change my answer.
Okay.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
If he's the only Flash... There's no way he gets beat in the first.
You want the speedster somewhere,
yeah.
too. Yeah, you at least want some, like, Flash
Nope, just changed my mind, folks. Right. And Austin said Jay Garrick, too, which I didn't even see before I said that, but I agree. I had to change it.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Your turn. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, too, like, we've got Cyborg and Batwoman here.
That's where you're at.
I am actually going to give this to Batwoman because sort of how you're saying with like Cheetah and Jay Garrick, you can have, Jay Garrick's faster, but she could be smarter. I could see like Batwoman having like the virus she would upload to his mainframe or some way to like hack into his like database too.
That seems like a no-brainer fight to me.
Yeah,
like nothing against Cyborg. I
right.
just don't think Batwoman would lose that fight.
No, exactly.
I really don't.
No,
I'm with you. Austin says Cyborg, but I don't think so. I think you're right on that one.
I mean, that seems like something that's a very Bat Family fight. Like the one that seems like
Robert says Cyborg. Obviously, nobody agrees with us.
Oh yeah. Well, it seems like. Again,
well, you guys are gonna cry foul so hard when this happens. I know what's gonna happen. I know Batwoman's gonna win that fight.
Exactly, yeah. God, we're talking about pro wrestling here. We're gonna turn the entire chat into Jim Cornette. That's a reference Captain Logan doesn't
You're
get.
the only person talking about pro
I'm
wrestling.
the only one talking about pro. I've seen the word jobber pop up a few times in the chat, so I'm infecting everyone here.
Aquaman versus King Shark is a great mashup.
Yes.
For obvious reasons.
Yes.
I kind of want to give it to King Shark, again, just because he's been more popular recently.
Yeah.
And maybe one or two major Justice League characters will fall out in the first round.
Right.
And Aquaman's not been, like, real popular lately in books.
Yeah,
I don't think.
He got, like, a little bit of a burst when the first movie came out, but then...
No, I know, but I'm just saying, in comics the last couple of years, like, has he had a run that people have cared about, really?
No. Like, again, they tried... He got a little bit of a spike, but that faded pretty quickly,
I'm gonna give that one to King Shark.
King Shark, on the other hand, was Sylvester Stallone in a movie.
That's true. Austin says Aquaman, but I think Aquaman will win, but I want King Shark to win. I think there's a chance Snyder surprises you with that one. I'm gonna give it to King Shark.
I will say, too, that you get a lot of the fun stuff, too, playing into, like, Aquaman's powers. Like, how can you kind of... have tried to, like, control King Shark.
Yeah.
Too. So, all right.
Batman Sapphire. Do you think there's any chance Batman doesn't get past the first round?
It's Snyder. It's Snyder.
Now, I think he will downplay Batman to some degree, but I don't think he's going to keep him...
Batman's not, like...
that far in the background.
Yeah, Batman's not going on the first round, too.
I wouldn't think so.
I wouldn't think... Yeah. I mean, just...
But he is going to downplay Batman pretty hard because his other events have been so Batman heavy.
Yeah.
And he did 2 Dark Knights medals.
Yeah.
And that's not just Batman heavy. That's making up a bunch of evil Batmans from other universes.
Which also features a medal called Batmanium.
Yes.
So...
And which... Now, I think that can only be pronounced Batmanium, but that's just me. But that last one was not well received.
Yeah.
And he's doing Absolute right now, and so he's just everything's so Batman.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I read the first Dark Knight's medal, but when the second one came out, it's like I could check it out, but again, it didn't get great reviews. So.
Okay, now I've got Hawkman versus Connor Hawk. I guess we did that because they both have Hawk in their name. Okay.
Hawkman, Connor Hawk, Hawk-Tua.
I'm gonna pretend like you didn't just say that.
I'm disappointed in myself.
You should be
ashamed. I'm so sorry.
You should be. I'm gonna give that one to Hawkman. How do you feel about that?
I guess depends. Just like Hawkman's kind of had like a little bit of an upswing. I know he's had a couple books that are pretty well received. Connor Hawk wasn't even that popular when he was popular.
That does feel like one of those fights that a lot of people just won't even care what happens.
Yeah, I mean, that's almost a throwaway too, just because, again, it's Hawk versus Hawk.
But Hawkman also feels like one of those characters that could end up being surprisingly important in some way.
Yeah.
I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Okay, you are saddled, sir, with Red Hood and Damian Wayne.
Ooh. I'm giving it to Damian.
This is another reason Batman will have to win that first round.
Yes.
Because they'll want
him to fight one of them.
Go against one of them.
Yeah. I feel like if you're going to have the showdown...
Did you just say Damian Wayne?
Damian Wayne. We've seen both, but I think like the one people would like to see more, and what I'd like to see more is between the two, Batman and Damian. Just because, like, overall, I like Damian.
What's funny is I don't like either of those characters, but I think at this point I like Damian more than I like Red Hood.
That's fair, yeah.
Also, if I didn't think that he already had most of this written,
yes,
if it's based on what's happened in publication this week, it would absolutely not be Red Hood.
I mean, DC editorial would probably.
I don't want to talk about that.
No,
I don't want to
like
get into that.
Yeah, no.
But I'm just saying, if we thought he'd only written one issue,
he would be getting a memo.
There's no chance Red Hood goes past that.
Yeah, no, I mean...
In fact, he might have been asked to take him out of the bracket entirely.
Yeah, I mean, Snyder would probably be getting a memo.
Anyway, I'd like to move on now.
Yes, moving on from that, too.
If I
moving
may.
on, yes.
Next up, let's keep this as light and fun as we can.
Yeah, exactly.
Lex Luthor versus Black Lightning. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to imagine the inevitability where Black Lightning wins in a fight versus Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
That is so funny to me.
Yeah, it's... Again, too, you could do cool stuff.
Why would you even put them in? Nothing against Black Lightning.
Yeah, no,
it's not
Black
a character.
Lightning
I'm so indifferent to that character. What's funny is I own his first appearance now.
Yeah, nice.
I found that in a collection and I went ahead and kept it. It's a good cover.
Yeah, and Black Lightning, not a character I disliked. You could do cool stuff with him, but again, we were saying too, it's a Superman heavy story.
I didn't even hate the pilot of that TV show. I didn't watch past it. I saw the second episode and didn't care for it, but I didn't watch anywhere past that. But the pilot was, I thought that actor was phenomenal.
Oh, he's great.
He's
fantastic.
I thought that guy was dynamite.
And like later on the season, like there's up and downs.
Did you watch it?
I watched like the first couple seasons of it, and I enjoyed it, but like there were ups and downs to it for sure. And like there were some things too where you're watching like, oh wow, they're saying that they're going there in a CW show.
Mm-hmm.
But like the guy who played Tobias Whale too, I thought was super good. Like the actor playing the villain. And like, yeah. So I mean, there are ups and downs with the show, but I mean overall, like, but again, it's a Superman series. We're not losing Lex in the first round.
Yeah, Robert, I'll tell you exactly. Right, I'll tell you. I do wish they'd put Black Lightning up against somebody I thought he might win. Like, if it was Black Lightning versus even Hawkman, I'd be I don't know.
Again, nothing against Black Lightning, but
I just laughed like that because I couldn't even believe they put it there like there was an answer, like there was a different answer than the obvious.
And like, again, like
It is interesting that he's right there.
Yeah.
I forgot we were looking at Black Lightning.
Right. And again, it's going
Did you notice that? That he's actually on the bracket?
He's on the... There you go.
Superman's in the middle because it's about Superman, folks.
Yeah. And again, going back to the wrestling analogy, I really like the wrestler Vader. But in WWF, Vader wasn't holding any belts. That's... reference a bunch of stuff Cap doesn't know about.
I can't help you right now, man.
Yeah, I'm just...
Zatanna versus Barda.
Oh, damn. Again, this is like...
Have we decided it's offensive to call her Big Barda? Have we taken the big out of it?
I don't know, actually. But they might... Do they have space for the...
She's become a mainstay for Birds of Prey these days for some reason. She's just always in that book.
That's fair. And like...
Who are you going to give it to?
I'm leaning...
I don't have a dog in this.
Yeah, and here's the thing too, because like both of them have had like some recent books lately. Both of them, I mean, are character... I overall, I like Barda better as a character... But I'm gonna give it to Barda. I think this might be a little bit of an upset because I think it'd be like because you have Zatanna, who's like so much more powerful. But like I think when you look at like which characters are more powerful, which characters are more in the public eye, like Zatanna's had like a book that I thought was actually, I liked what I read of it. But
Austin was talking about that too.
Yeah.
Austin's doubling back to Cyborg and saying Cyborg has to win. Robert says there's no way they make both Black Lightning and Cyborg each lose the first round. That's a good point, too. Do we...
I'm still gonna stick with mine just because.
Are you?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to make this too much about race and gender, but at the same time, that's going to be a consideration for what he does.
Right.
So just in strategizing this, like what we think will actually happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have very many black characters here.
Right.
So he's right. There's
That is
no
a
way
point.
they both lose. Now you can keep it if you want to, and we can just look highly racist. I don't care. I really don't. But I'm telling you, Lex can't lose to Black Lightning.
I mean, yeah, that is
in a Superman story.
Yeah.
So you do what you want to, but I think it will F up our entire bracket if you don't change it with Cyborg.
That is
I do think they're right about that.
fair. I mean, just clearly like the optics sense.
Yeah, I know. I hate that we have to think about it like that.
Well, you know, it's one of those things too. You want you want a diverse cast. You want your I will go ahead and give it to Cyborg just because, I think.
Look, you can stick to your guns if you want to.
You know, I'll stick with Batwoman for now.
Are you really?
If I mess up the whole thing, just clearly a storytelling perspective.
Oh, I guess there's Vixen too. I guess that's your only other black character. I was gonna say
we gave it to
but we also took her out.
I was about to say we took her out. We took out both.
Yeah.
The one woman of color in this too. I'm so sorry, everybody.
If it was me, I would change that, but
I'm having internal conflict too. No, guys, I swear, I'm having a crisis. A crisis on Infinite Earths here.
He's having an identity and an infinite crisis.
Exactly, yeah.
He's having infinite identity crises.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and stick with Batwoman, and if we mess it up, it's on me, man. It's on me.
Austin, that's fantastic. He says, even outside of optics, it's the Terminator versus someone's aunt.
To be fair, though, I've known some ants who can throw down.
Also, Batwoman just has not been very relevant for a while, and I'm kind of surprised she's even here.
Yeah,
now that we're talking about it.
Talking about it too.
Well, I'm sorry for making you change your mind.
It's all right.
I think they're right about that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to choose this last one for the first round based solely on my own bias.
Right.
And I'm just not picking Etrigan over Supergirl. I can't do it.
That's entirely
And
fair.
Also, don't you want the Lex versus Supergirl match?
You do. You absolutely do.
You kind of want that.
Right.
And I think that's what'll happen.
Yeah.
So, I feel vindicated.
Yeah.
And that'll be cool if that happens.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, Lex will beat Supergirl because we'll want to get him in a fight with Superman. Know that will happen.
Right, for sure.
So now we got to think about the matchups that we know, the matchups, that we know that he'll want to get to.
Yes.
When we get into the second round. But I guess you still have to do your last one. Harley Quinn and Metamorpho.
It's going to be Harley. I
don't think you're right about that.
Really?
I don't. But you do what you think will happen. I'll tell you why.
Okay, yeah.
It's two things. It's Harley they still push her like she's more popular lately than she has been.
Yes.
But that makes her oddly expendable. And Metamorpho was just in Superman.
Yeah. The only reason that one of the big reasons that I'm thinking that it'd be Harley is because then you have, that might be too obvious too, the Batman-Harley fight.
Maybe. But also they've been more on the same side lately.
That's true, yeah. Harley's that weird, anti-hero cool. Sort of. Yeah. Morpho might be interesting too, so.
That is an oddly tough call.
Yeah.
But you stick to your guns if you want to, if you think it's Harley.
I will.
Because you might still be right.
I'll go with Harley too, just for the Batman Harley showdown.
I can honestly see that going either way.
Yeah,
but I think there's a chance Metamorpho wins that.
Again, too, especially with the movie out too, and he was kind of one of the breakout stars of that.
Yeah.
If Mr. Terrific were on this too, it would just depend.
Do you know how shocked I am he's not here?
I know, yeah.
As big as he's got his own book right now.
Yeah, he's got his own book.
How's he not here?
Yeah. And especially since he was...
And they only got... Again, I hate to go too much to optics or whatever,
Yeah.
but they have 3 black characters. It's very strange he's not here.
Yeah. And well, especially since he was like the big breakout star of the movie. I mean, more so than like Metamorpho.
Robert, I won't be surprised if Harley wins, but that would be the dumbest thing. Metamorpho should win that. I think so, too.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those two. Like, it wasn't Heroes in Crisis that had her take out the entire Justice League by herself.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about Heroes in Crisis.
You're right. Okay, let's get into the second round now. How are we for time? For us, we're not doing horrible.
Yeah. For us,
we've still got Absolute Green Lantern to talk about. I will say without getting too ahead of myself, I don't think that's gonna be a long review for me.
Right.
So,
I think there's a lot we could talk about. That's kind of. I think there's a lot of like surface level stuff we can talk about with it too. So
I don't think that's more than a 50.
Right? Yeah, we can power through that pretty quickly.
For me,
yeah.
We'll tell you what we thought of that. We make that as non-spoiler and sign flippy as possible.
Yeah.
Anyway, getting back to who will win. So why don't you start this side? So you're gonna end up with Wonder Woman versus Lobo first.
Yeah, which my gut says Wonder Woman. Just she's part of the Trinity.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think if they did the Lobo Plastic Man thing, it would be like, I don't even know if that's an upset. It would be like, cool, he made it to round 2, and he's not going to make it past round 2.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think.
No.
I think you're right about that. This is going to be funny because now we're going to have all these matchups for the second round where people aren't even going to buy what our matchups are.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're going to be like, well, that's not who's going to make it there.
Exactly. Yeah, they're checking out. Like
Everybody checks out at that point. Yeah. Well, Superman's going to beat Captain Atom. That's just obvious.
Be like that scene King Come where like Kansas gets nuked. It's like, oh no, you ripped my skin.
So if we're right about this whole thing, Swamp Thing versus Cyborg.
My gut says Swamp Thing just because I think Wonder Woman versus Swamp Thing seems like more of a natural pairing.
And kind of just fun to watch.
Kind of just fun to watch, yeah.
Okay. She's got to use her lasso on the green.
The green, yeah.
Okay, so now I've got Guy Gardner and Jay Garrick, which is a neat matchup if that were to end up happening.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, I think, again, I'm stuck on this. We've only got one Flash thing.
Yeah.
And so I think I am giving that one to Garrick.
Flash is like a weirdly, like, even just as a title, is weirdly important to DC too. Just so now we got.
Well, because like I put Guy Gardner going into the second round because he's been more popular lately, but that doesn't necessarily mean he gets real far.
Yeah.
It just means he'll get a little more panel time than he might have like 10 years ago.
Exactly. Yeah.
Austin says Guy Gardner, so Superman fights Guy. Yeah, maybe, but I also think Superman versus Jay Garrick is interesting because those just aren't two characters you see together much.
Yeah, and I can see like.
Austin says there's also only one Green Lantern. Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
He might make me change my choice. That's a good point too. Right. I hadn't even put that together.
Right.
He's right, and Green Lantern is gonna be.
That'd probably be more of an interesting fight than Flash versus Superman.
No, he's changed my mind on that. Yeah, he's right. Freaking Austin, man.
Yeah.
All right, so now you've got to give us Batman and Damian.
Who's gonna win between Batman and literally anybody?
I wonder. Well, eventually he'll get taken out.
Eventually get taken out, yeah.
But you're giving that to Batman, I assume.
To Batman, yeah. Again, too, Batman versus literally any Robin.
That could be a weird upset.
Yeah.
I could sort of see that happening.
Right. I could see, like... So I could also see, just going back to, like, Guy Gardner, I could see Guy Gardner...
But we did talk about the whole Batman Harley thing.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. I'm gonna say, like... Well, I mean, just
Austin says this will be the passing the torch moment of Batman letting his son win. Yeah, maybe.
maybe, but like, I figure if anybody's gonna,
He'll let Harley win.
he let Harley win. There you go.
That's what'll happen.
Exactly. Well, also too, I figure if anybody, if you're gonna have that moment like the pass of the torch, it's
Hawkman's
gotta
gonna beat King Shark.
Yeah.
I'm also second guessing the Aquaman thing now. But
Yeah.
whatever. I think our bracket is already busted.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, great. Star Sapphire's there, so they have at least 2 Lantern. That's true.
Yeah.
But she's not a Green Lantern.
She's not a Green Lantern. She's one of the other cores, but.
And people are gonna care more about Guy Gardner right now than her.
And I'm gonna say Harley beats Sparta, which again I know is kind of a BS thing, but
yes,
like,
but we've BS'd her before.
We BS'd her before.
So Lex is gonna beat Supergirl.
Yeah.
That will make me cry, but there you go.
Yeah.
Not really. And then we'll come back. I guess we'll go to me now.
Right.
So we're kind of passing this back and forth. So then Superman, Guy Gardner, Superman will continue.
I see that being the one punch moment. One punch!
Yeah, good call. And then you've got Wonder Woman and Swamp Thing.
So I've got a prediction.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Wonder Woman and Batman, and Wonder Woman's gonna win.
Okay, maybe.
Because, yeah, because the Greg Rucka, the Hakatia, that's the one thing big Batman Wonder Woman that everybody thinks of, which I love that story too. It's a great story, but the one thing everybody remembers about too is that Wonder Woman beat Batman. Again, since we're not actually, these aren't real people, this isn't pro wrestling rules. It's not like Batman, told Eric Bischoff to hire Wonder Woman so he could get his win back. So
Austin King Shark would eat Hawkman.
I would, you know what? I would love that.
So our final 4 would end up being Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, and Lex.
Yeah.
I like that. I think I buy that. Unless Snyder just gets real silly.
Yeah.
And decides to stack it so that at least one of those 4 is the last person you would ever expect.
Yeah.
Which could maybe have happened. We'll see what ends up happening.
Right.
But this is how we set it up. I think Lex goes to the end.
Okay.
Because I think Superman's going to give him that.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have a sacrifice moment for some reason.
Right.
And I predicted that from the beginning, but I thought it would be the very end of it. It
Yeah.
can't be now because they're both on the same side.
Right.
So that will be like penultimate issue stuff.
Yeah.
And then what do you think with Wonder Woman and Batman?
I'm leaning towards Wonder Woman just because of like history of the character and
so that we don't make it yet another Batman saves the world story.
Yes, that's at least what I'm thinking.
I actually hope you're right.
Right.
I would hope that's what happens. And then now, we have to decide together.
Right. Well, I could see either.
I kind of could too.
Yeah.
If this is where it were to land.
Yeah, because like the winner faces Darkseid, right?
Yes.
So, I could see Luthor cheating, like that he comes up with some way to, like some underhand way that he pulls out victory at like the last moment.
Well, my whole idea was Superman realizes that there's something Lex knows or has or something.
Yeah.
Where he has to be the person that gets the power to fight Darkseid.
Right.
And this actually makes it more interesting than what I was originally thinking, because then it's like, okay, and I need you to go beat Wonder Woman or whoever the other, Batman, whoever it ends up being.
Yeah.
So that makes me think, if I'm right about that Lex has to go all the way.
Yeah.
That Lex beats Wonder Woman, and then he has whatever it takes to beat Darkseid. Yeah. Especially because it's supposed to be more of a Superman story than anything.
Right.
So I kind of think Lex has to go all the way, and I've thought that since the beginning.
You know what I just thought of now? That Justice League Unlimited scene where he comes in with the anti-life equation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if it'll be something like that. Like
Sure.
Lex pulls out like his yeah. He's got something, he's got some, lost like source wall lore that he found, and
it's also important to note that once again, that was a big character in a movie this year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Wonder Woman's getting another movie at some point in like 5 to 6 years.
And I should say some of this I guess might be a little bit of my bias because I'm such a Lex fan.
Yeah.
But I'm also just thinking, like practically what Snyder is liable to do with what's supposed to be a Superman character piece.
Yeah. Especially when
I
you
feel
say
Lex probably goes all the way,
yeah.
Unless we do. But it could go either way if we're right that it's Lex versus Wonder Woman. Because
yeah.
the other way it could go is Superman thinks Lex is the only person that can pull it off, and he's wrong about it.
Yeah.
And Wonder Woman beats Lex, and then Superman is in the background going, "Oh crap, that's not good."
Yeah.
And then she actually is able to pull it out.
Yeah. And I could see like a Wonder Woman versus Darkseid fight too. That'd be something that would be interesting.
And I could see myself being really satisfied with either of those outcomes.
Yeah.
Austin, it's also co-written by Williamson, so I imagine Lex goes all the way. I forgot about that. We haven't even been talking about it.
I even forgot to.
I totally forgot
I just thought
Williamson
it was like
involved
straight
in it.
Snyder,
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So all right, well we've got our bracket.
So I think some of our bracket is going to ultimately be broken. Yeah. I don't think we're right about the whole of the final four.
Yeah.
I think one of these four will be wrong.
Right.
And I think it could even be Batman. I think it's possible Batman doesn't even make it that far. Mm-hmm. But I think we're right about the winner.
That being...
We're not necessarily right about who Lex fights.
Yeah. That being said, I could see them doing a Harley Wonder Woman fight. I could see them doing that.
God, I hope not.
Again, knowing just...
Could you see me punching you in the face? Could you see that
Look,
happening?
I'm not writing this. I'm not the one. So, it's... I could see it.
Why would you say such a thing?
Look, I didn't ask for this. This is just. You want to know how I can say that? Because I've read DC Comics.
This will make our show really fun, though.
Yeah,
assuming the series doesn't suck.
Yes.
I just continuing to speculate about this and see if our brackets are right.
And
looking at it week to week. You're gonna have to keep up a little bit more.
I do. I gotta get back on the ball.
But I'll be buying some of the stuff, so if you can get her early enough, you can read my stuff.
Exactly.
You can mooch off me. It's fine. What I wish is that we still got digital issues with physical.
Yeah,
because they've stopped doing that.
Right? Because for the most part, like most,
because I could have just given you my digitals.
Well, most of the stuff I've read just for this in general has been digital. Like it's either been on the app or on like Comixology.
But day and date, it's harder.
Yeah, just trying to get life support out of that. It's like breathe. I need to read Absolute number 6.
Well, that was super fun. I'm glad we did that.
Yeah, I'm too.
We were a week late on that, but we also had another 3.5 hour show last week, so we couldn't have worked it in.
Yeah, exactly. And this starts at the end of starts next month, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the actual week is.
So we got time. We got
we definitely have time.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to know how our bracket goes up against other folks, and if you're watching this and you've made one, let us know who you've got in your final four.
Right.
And who you think goes all the way. I'm confident about Lex.
Yes, yeah. I think at least our final four is pretty rock solid.
I think 3 of the 4 are rock solid.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna be wrong about one of them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
But I think Lex has to go to the last round.
You need the Superman Lex fight.
He doesn't necessarily win, but I think he has. I think he will win, but I think he's in that last fight.
Yeah.
But one of the final 4 we are wrong about.
Right.
I think.
Right.
We'll see what happens. Okay, let's go ahead and go on to our final segment where we review something that one of you guys picked last week by way of Super Chat. We don't have any Super Chat takers tonight yet, so I'll mention one more time.
Radiant Black.
Anybody could pop in and do it. You'll get to pick what we review at the end of the show next week, where we sample a newer series that we've not talked about yet.
Right.
And if you don't do it, we will finally read the first arc of what's his name, Kyle Higgins,
Yeah.
Radiant Black, and now it's time for something completely different, but not all that different because in some ways it feels like this should be the last episode actually of our new comic book late night show because
exactly.
we have run out of Absolute to review.
There you go.
And eventually we will do, I'm sure, more vaults on Absolute, continuing some of these series.
Right.
Austin and I, and maybe even Chris if we can ever get him for one of those. But right now we've only got, and eventually they'll make more Absolutes.
Yeah.
And then we'll have an audience again.
Green Arrow is like floating around too. They're talking about that.
That's true. But I'm sure that for some people, this will for a while be the last episode of our show because all anybody has cared about us talking about is the Absolute Universe. And friggin' Paul.
The friggin' Paul.
But now we're going to talk a little bit about Absolute Green Lantern. There are only 6 issues out. I read all 6.
I did too, yeah.
I finished 5 and went, well, that's not a complete arc.
Yeah.
And then I finished 6 and I went, okay, it kind of is now.
Kind of is, yeah.
That's where I was with that. I needed 6 to have any earthly idea what was happening.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had that.
So here's like the thing with this book is that aesthetically it was amazing. I think the way it told the story was kind of, and there are parts where it's like, I don't know what's happening, but this is cool.
Yeah.
And, actually too, I had this thought with Absolute Flash, where my first thought reading that was, oh, this is a horror comic.
Yeah.
This is a guy who's going through some body horror stuff and doesn't know what's happening and feels himself turning into a monster.
This is a Stephen King story.
Exactly, yeah. This is and especially with the ring imagery too, and the whole first issue with Hal just being like, I don't know what's happening to me. Don't pull your gun at me.
Yeah, it's kind of horrific.
It's kind of horrific. I mean, there are folks that get massacred in this story too.
People getting jacked in this comic.
Yeah, exactly. Get jacked in this comic.
But yeah, he has your kind of standard, horrible origin story for a villain or an antihero, or a protagonist in a horror movie where the monster gets a hold of him and there's nothing he can do to stop it, and he's basically possessed by an evil spirit.
Yeah.
So I'll back off for a second and say, in some ways, this is the weakest of these for me.
Yeah.
But it's complicated because, like you said, aesthetically and tonally, and also conceptually, I like it better than Flash.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it above any of the others.
Right.
And ultimately, I think Flash is maybe told so far a little better.
I think Flash...
I don't love this structurally.
Yeah.
My biggest... Well, I should say, I had 2 major issues with this.
Right.
And then I'll get more to positive stuff in a second. In some ways, this was the most disappointing of these for me, I guess I should say. Because I don't think the storytelling is up to the same stuff as the rest of Absolute. But I think Flash is toward the bottom of them.
Right.
I was more interested in the basic concept of this and the overall ideas with this than I was with Flash. But I also generally like Green Lantern more than I like Flash. So some of that is to be expected with me. So some of that is certain biases with me. My 2 main issues with this are I don't care for the nonlinear structure. I'm not sure I'm buying that it needs to be told that way. And you've got to convince me of nonlinear most of the time. The second thing is, and the bigger issue is, it doesn't get enough done in 6 issues. This felt way slower than any of these have been. Flash would be, ironically, second slowest. But it felt reasonably paced compared to this. This, I felt like it has the same problem that a lot of modern Big Two have, which is just we're kind of stretching for time. Yeah. And I'm not really sure that my $5 is going far enough, particularly with the first couple issues. It comes together well enough with 6 that I'm not wishing I hadn't read it, but I think I might have been disappointed if I paid for each issue as they came out.
Yeah.
I will say that, which maybe sounds a little harsh, but when you compare it to the rest of Absolute that are really trucking at a pace and are... and we know this won't be the case now that it's so popular, but kind of read like... They might only get 12. Not counting Martian Manhunter, which was supposed to only have 6 initially. Right. I heard that Green Lantern could have maybe been like that. It doesn't read like that. It reads like this is the first arc of what we're assuming will be a 40 or 50 issue run that could maybe have been done in 25. That's really how it reads. And oddly, it still does the thing that Batman does, that Flash does, where a bunch of major characters that you'd usually pace out show up as the supporting cast. And it's still too slow. You have, like, every major human Green Lantern.
They all show up.
Showing up as characters that live in this town, which is a neat idea. And then, minor spoilers, but... each of them, and this was one of the things I really liked about it, will end up being a different lantern in a different part of the spectrum. Because we open with the spectrum idea, which I really like. So it isn't, you've got the Green Lanterns, and then later we open it up to all the other spectrums, or all the other colors in the spectrum. With this, it's
a hierarchy.
It's a hierarchy. And it feels... real like Eastern philosophy to me. I had a real Buddhist thing with it.
It's very
much about like the levels leading to enlightenment.
I mean, it's very much the idea of Nirvana and like the Wheel of Time and stuff like that too. Or
and I loved that idea. I thought that was cool, and the idea that you could have like some people on the darker side that look at it backwards. So it's sort of the Force thing. There's like there's like light and dark. But then you have your actual Green Lantern in Joe. Who's a character that I have not liked in the past. Because I didn't like Far Spectre. And I think that's Far Spectre.
That's Far Spectre.
Far Sector. Crap. Anyway, but she's supposed to be the anomaly. She's the character that gets the power despite not falling on any of the rungs up to enlightenment.
She's the controller, they call her, right, too? Like, she's the one that kind of sort of...
She gets to break all the rules.
And I thought that was really interesting, too. And, we showed this universe's Abin Sur, too, which... this book had a lot of manga influence, too. I mean, looking at, like, Majin Buu, Abin Sur over there, too.
And I didn't mind that.
I didn't mind. No, I love that, too. I mean, I love that aesthetic. Like, I think it gave... this book, for me, was kind of almost Oops All vibes. Like, so much of...
That's a great way to put that.
I mean, so much of the... I think what we lose in actual, like, plot structure, I think what we lose in actual, like, storytelling, like, actual tightness of storytelling, it's made up for just, like, the visuals and just, like, how that story is told and how much of... there is, like, an air... You don't know what's going on, which isn't great for the actual, like... A to B plotting of the script, but when you've got the horror it's like, what are they getting into?
No, I loved the mystery of it, but I got impatient with it.
Exactly.
I just feel like that goes on too long just because of how the story is paced. Whereas like, at some point, when is somebody finally going to tell me what any of this means?
And
like, am I supposed to be scared of Abin Sur? Is it going to be a big misunderstanding? And even by the end of 6, I still don't totally know some of that.
And like some
because
of the...
I'll spoil it a little bit so that we can even talk about this. But the idea is supposed to be that you have these aliens that go to planets and judge us. Kind of like Q in Star Trek or something.
Right, yeah.
But we don't know what we're being judged for. And exactly.
We all take turns being the Scarecrow.
And so what this race does is they send in Abensur.
Yeah.
So there's not just Abensur. There's a whole race of
There's
Abensurs.
like Abed Rao, Abed... I forget what the other ones
were.
Oh,
right. And they fit different parts of the spectrum. And are they part of the hierarchy to enlightenment also? Where like one's better than the other?
A little bit. I think that's the impression I got too, where like... they were like the different flames they all carried with them, and like Abensur was the one who was judging like this world, and I mean it's a lot of it is a little ambiguous too, and a lot of it is a little hard to
somewhat intentionally so.
Yeah.
Because you've got those big questions that Jon Stewart can't answer.
Yeah.
Because he ends up being like the guy thirsting for knowledge, so when he gets sucked in, he becomes a Yellow Lantern, and then he gets all the knowledge.
Yeah, and at the end of the series, he's the one that's sort of providing the exposition too.
And thank God that we get something. But what I was going to say is, so I guess the idea is they come down and they judge one community to represent the whole world.
Yeah.
But what was confusing about it is that this is a standard thing they go and do on lots of different planets.
Right.
And they seem confused when people don't go along with it or don't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel like you would meet the exact same kind of opposition and confusion everywhere you went.
You would.
Why can't you get better at communication?
Yeah, exactly.
I need somebody to explain this to me.
Yeah. And there is, the sort of the. I will say too that one of my favorite bits was when they're trying to figure out the gold, where they're throwing like the costume jewelry and then like the actual gold ring into the big like lantern symbol that crashed in the town. And like
that was hilariously shocking,
especially when
page
they pull out
4. You turn the page and there's this huge lantern symbol.
I know, yeah.
And I'm like, well, at least we got the iconography. I guess the iconography just murdered a bunch of people.
And then you throw a blue devil Funko Pop at it.
Literally a Funko Pop.
Yeah. So I did like
legally distinctive Funko Pop.
Legally distinct, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's gold. It's painted gold, at least.
That's true.
So.
Oh, is that supposed to... I didn't even think about
this. That's a riff on the yellow, I thought.
I didn't think of that. So that's supposed to be like the old Golden Age thing.
Yeah.
Of the... Or yellow... Or,
it's a Silver
Age thing.
Because Golden Age was wood.
That's right.
It was
that's
wood.
Right. Where Green Lanterns are susceptible to yellow.
Yeah.
And so if you spray paint something gold, you can throw it through the... through the energy dome.
Yeah, as soon as I realized that's what they were doing, it's like,
that's great.
Wait a minute.
I missed that. The way stuff is repurposed is pretty clever, and of course, Absolute's been real good and consistent about that.
Oh yeah.
I like Hal Jordan as the Black Hand.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and having him be the sort of like the ticking time bomb too, and they kind of have. Because they mentioned, we just talked about planets, they mentioned Mogo in it as, like, the black star, like the living planet towards the end. Which...
So it's getting exciting.
It is, yeah.
And I want to keep reading on.
Right.
But my reservations are, it's been so slow going the first 6. I need it to really ramp up now.
Yeah.
I can't stick with this pacing.
We've got...
And my other big reservation is... I just can't decide if I like the main character. Because it at first I thought it was going to read more ensemble.
Yeah.
But it's called Green Lantern and you only have one. And all of the others are on I don't want to say on the spectrum, but they're on this spectrum, okay?
We're all risen with a tism here.
Of the lantern spectrum, right?
Yes.
And it's very concerned with her background and relationship and her ex-wife because she's a lesbian. I think Joe was originally.
Yes, she was,
and so they're sticking with that. They're consistent with that.
Yeah.
And then she is becoming more and more a major player in this.
Yeah.
And so, and also, she's on almost every cover, if not every cover. Like, this is her book, I think.
And her wife at the end is the one, like, the FBI agent that's going to investigate.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
and so,
Simon Baz, actually,
So, that's who that is. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'm not hating or totally disliking her. I'm indifferent to her so far. And she's supposed to be the main character, and I don't like that I'm more interested in, like, everybody else.
Well,
like, I want to get back to Jon Stewart, and I want to get back to Hal Jordan. I can't get excited about her.
A lot of times, too, I mean...
She feels like sort of... Sorry. She feels like sort of just a stand-in for... What's the word I'm looking for? Just rebellion.
Like a cipher, sort of, or something like you can have, like, project onto, or...
Yeah, well, she's supposed to be endearing because she's the rebellious symbol that goes against the standard good versus evil narrative.
Right.
And I'm just not latching onto her character. I'm just not getting a good enough sense of who she... like independently is.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're having that.
I think, like, the one thing too, like, with a lot of the characters is that,
like what's her unique thing? I don't know.
And I think, like, well, the one big thing with a lot of, again, this whole book, they were doing mostly world building too, and a lot of the character that gets a lot of, like, the most screen time, is Hal. And that's, him becoming and he's basically the villain, too.
No, that's true. Well, that's what's weird about it is it feels like it's his book initially.
Yeah, and, like...
And
you see that sometimes...
maybe it'll be more ensemble as we go.
Yeah.
And maybe he won't stay Black Hand.
Right.
And maybe you'll end up with multiple Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
And that's possible.
Yeah.
And so I could just be kind of reading this wrong, but 6 issues in, you got half a year of material, and I can't get excited about what I think is your protagonist.
Yeah. And, like, I didn't dislike...
Again, I don't hate her or nothing, but I'm not... The thing is, I can't help but compare it to all the other books, and I'm latching on to all the protagonists much harder than I am her.
Right.
Like, I adore their Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Their Batman is over the top, fun, and fascinating.
Yeah. And we have a character like this who's...
I will say I'm more underwhelmed by their Superman than some other characters.
Yeah.
I will say that. Mm-hmm. Like, there's more of the trappings of that book are more interesting than their Superman.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Yeah. I mean, he's fine. And,
but,
like,
even him I'm more into than her right now.
I think, like... Again, like, the one thing this book suffers from is it could have done, like, a little bit more character work. It could have done, like, actually gotten into... And I know, like, they've said that these characters all have, like, some history, that they've known each other, and that there's something between, like, Guy and Joe.
I also think it's possible that on a reread I'll pick up enough stuff.
Yeah.
That I'll get more of a sense of where they're going with it.
Right. And...
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about Guy.
Yeah.
He's
like
interesting
police
in
chief,
this,
who's
and
like
just
sheriff.
he's a sheriff in a little town of 3,000 people.
Yeah.
And is like the complete opposite.
Yeah.
of what he usually is.
He's got a beard in this too. He's bald.
He's bald. He's totally different character.
Exactly. So I think, like...
Did you think their Hector Hammond is a bit over the top?
A little bit, actually. Yeah, no, for sure. Well, he shows up in, like, an ascot, too, and he's like, yes, hello. His private jet.
And some of it's funny.
Yeah.
Where his minions all know that he will probably at some point completely ruin their lives for being incompetent.
Yeah. When you, like, fire somebody just for, like, for pulling somebody out of the wreckage, too.
But some of that just felt a little been there, done that.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't anything... And, like, tonally, when you have, like, this super goofy character come down for this really trippy, like, sci-fi horror book, and then you have...
I think he's supposed to be a little scarier than he actually is.
Yeah, that's the impression I kind of got, too.
Is the sense I'm getting?
Yeah. And
I also feel like issue 7 or 8, all of this could come even way more together.
Yeah.
And we could suddenly find ourselves loving it. I don't think it's a bad start.
This is world building. This is them just putting, like, the rules in place, too. And I think a lot of the ways the book
But I also think it took too long.
Yeah, exactly, too. And I think a lot of the ways this book suffers is them putting, like, the concept before the characters.
Yeah, Nicholas Bodo, I like the race thing with him also.
Yeah.
I am real curious about where all that ends up going.
Yeah,
and how this fits into the larger narrative of Absolute.
Because they mentioned playing against like Lazarus, so you know the
yes. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, this was kind of like at least from what I've seen so far, kind of one of the more direct, hints at the larger, Absolute universe.
Oh yeah, there's a lot more discussion about it in the last issue we've had so far of this. Where does this rank for you with these? Are you in the same place I am?
Yeah, I kind of like, I feel that I go back, I put it on like the same level as Flash, because I think the ways that it suffers kind of, it's not as tight of a story, but like just the way it's told kind of worked for me, because I was drawn in almost immediately too. And it's like, even if I don't know what's going on, I'm there, I'm with it. And like, for whatever, like I said, for as much as the plot isn't the tightest and the character work they haven't done, it's still, reading this, I was like reacting to it. I was getting creeped out by like the weird rings and the a lot of like the trippier parts where they're pulled into I think they said like the Oa was the space they were in.
Yeah,
like
they're in Oa.
The Omega Alpha, they called it.
That's right.
So yeah, like there's a lot I was able to like latch onto, and even if like, again, they could have done better character work, they could have had like a little bit of actually been more efficient with their storytelling, there was at least enough in it that I wanted to keep reading, and that there's enough in it to sort of draw me in. So,
well, don't get me wrong, I'm fascinated by the mythology.
Yeah.
And the sort of, in not just in a real easy, isn't it cool because it's opposite kind of way.
Yeah.
But I do like the mirror that we have for the standard Green Lantern mythology, where it seems like, if I'm understanding it right, you get colors on the spectrum based on your ability to handle what it represents. And that always kind of bugged me in mainstream. I've always wanted to see it done this way.
Yeah.
Because I always thought it was weird the way we talk about like fear in regular Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if you're intimidating, you get the power of fear.
Right.
But if you have will, you get the power of will. And I'm like, why do we talk about it like that? Why is it like you get fear? Well, not because you're afraid, because you're able to make other people afraid. That never made any sense to me.
Yeah, and
this does the opposite. Where it's what I always thought it should have been.
It's you're conquering fear. You're coming to terms with it. You're trying to comprehend it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting that right away we say it's and Hal has a line about this where he's like, it's not about will, which was maybe a little bit too easy just in making it about the will thing.
Yeah.
But where he just says that because that's a like main theme we usually deal with the Green Lantern. But he's like, it's apparently not will that you need in order to control this thing, and then we find out later more of what it is. But I thought it was particularly interesting that Guy, and again, totally opposite of what he usually is.
Exactly.
That Guy gets and it's not even rings until it is a ring.
Yeah.
But they're not all given rings. It's different. Right. But he basically becomes a Red Lantern.
Yeah.
Because he's not impulsive, because he's not quick to act.
Yeah, again,
and so he gets so he gets what is usually the rage power because he doesn't have that problem.
Yeah.
Because he can handle it.
And that's kind of a theme of this too, where the idea of Green being like the controller.
Yeah.
That a lot of it's controlling the emotional spectrum and controlling it and trying to like make it, conquer it almost too. And
that's the head.
That's the head. Brain. Yeah, exactly. And that's like the highest point of the just the different levels of the Oa or whatever.
Yeah, like, is green supposed to be enlightenment, or are you not quite even to that level yet?
Yeah, that's at least the idea. The impression I was getting, that if it was, even if it was like the highest, it was towards the top too. And I imagine if they start getting into like love, compassion, and all that too, there's probably places you could go from there. But that's at least the impression I was getting, that green was sort of like the one above all, or at least from my read through of it too.
Nicholas Moto Green is probably enlightenment. That was the sense I got on a first read, because that is the top one.
Yeah.
And then the idea is Joe has that, but she's not enlightened.
Yeah.
And so there's other ways to get it, and then you again break past the rules.
Yeah.
And then there's just the question of how
right.
she'll wield it and what happens with that.
Yeah. And sometimes you just need to throw a gold Funko Pop at Green Lantern Logan. I saw that and it was like, it's Blue Devil. Like, all right, okay.
But yeah, I think I was a lot more interested in the basic concept of how we're reinventing this.
Yeah.
And that hierarchy structure, and that idea of trying to reach enlightenment, than I was in ultimately the actual story that's being told.
Yeah.
But I think it could. I think with one more issue, I could find myself suddenly more enamored in the actual plot. I don't know yet.
Yeah, no, I think there's like, I don't think it's a bad story.
Again, it's good setup.
Yeah, it's a good setup.
I just wish it wasn't 6 issues of setup.
I think like maybe once it settles into its own lore, its own aesthetic, I think then you can kind of maybe buckle down to, because it reminds me, it's Al Ewing that wrote this, right? And it does remind me so much of Immortal Hulk, that there's so much of that weird, trippy, surrealist, philosophical reinvention of, the superhero lore that we know of in the first place. Like you got, even like the Spider-Man we read last week too, they're talking about the Green Door.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's a lot of spillover to that, which, I mean, I was okay with, because I liked Immortal Hulk and I liked what they're doing with this too. So
I only read one arc of that, and it's been too long now, so I don't remember a lot about it.
Yeah. So,
somebody requested that, and I remember liking it a lot.
Yeah, no, it was, yeah.
I'm not a Hulk guy, I didn't keep going with it.
Yeah. So I think, like, I know Al Ewing can tell a good story, and I think, at least once you get past, like, having to set the stage, then I think you could probably do some really interesting stuff and actually tell, get, like, that real solid skeleton,
So Braden put in a $1 super chat, which immediately means that we're probably not doing Radiant Black this week. But then frickin' Austin comes in with a larger super chat, even though it's Canadian.
Yeah.
And he says, absolute Green Lantern is all right. And then Braden says, God damn it, Austin.
I will say, somebody said that it was like All-Star Batman and Robin logic. Were you talking about, okay, were you talking about the yellow and the green?
I do feel like, since Austin works on the channel, I'm not sure if I should let him pick the book for next time.
Fair. Now, Austin, unless you got a really good
we're gonna need to come up with like actual rules about this, I guess, where you're ineligible if you work here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, somebody likes Radiant Black, so we're
Austin, you're cheap.
Let's see, who said All-Star Batman or Robin logic, which I will say,
with the yellow thing, yeah that's what he's talking about.
Okay, so
that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, which
I'm trying to decide if I'm going to let Austin pick the book or not.
I will say that that point in All-Star and Asbar, that was the point where it's like, okay, Frank's starting to realize what he's doing now. He's like, it's not good, but at least he's aware of it.
Austin was going to request Void Rivals. I figured that would probably happen at some point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay, well, since we didn't have rules in place before, I may make rules about this, but I don't know that Austin's going to come here all the time and do this. Yeah, we'll do it once. Austin, yeah, that's fine. We'll do Void Rivals next time. And then eventually, finally, I'm sure we'll get to Radio Black.
Yeah, I saw an artist actually just last week. A pixel artist did like a bunch of pixel art of Radiant Black, and it's like,
oh really?
Those look really cool. Yeah, I'll have to occasionally.
It's hilarious how much we're just not even functioning by the end of the show.
I know, right?
Like we sound like we've been drinking. Neither of us have been
exactly.
drinking.
Yeah, the hardest thing I've had is a Diet Coke. Just so you know.
Nicholas Bodo, Void Rivals looks exciting unless someone requests something else. Hayden, I wanted to do Radiant Black. Braden, I want a refund. Braden, what did you want us to do?
Yeah.
With your $1 CV. Austin, why'd you have to come in here and confuse all of this, man? Hayden Higgins is hit or miss for me. I mean, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, I mean, he's done some okay stuff. He's stuff I like, some stuff I, not as excited about. I've never read anything by him that I've absolutely loathed either, too. It's like... so I think I said last week that his girlfriend was on Jeopardy like a few years ago.
You told me about that.
Yeah, that was random.
Braden, tell us what you wanted us to do. If you had something really specific in mind, I may put Austin off for a week. Hayden, that book is a conundrum because it's pretty mediocre, but I like it. I mean, we've all had stuff like that.
Yeah, no, we've all got our comfort comics.
We're going to finish the show up here, but I'm just waiting to hear from Braden.
His Marvel Ultraman book was dumb.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I didn't either, no. I mean, I'm not surprised because why not have him? You know what? I'm okay. But even also, if it's dumb and bad, I'm taking it.
Why are we to a point where all he does is tokusatsu stuff?
That's a good question, actually. Yeah, because
it's like he got that big run on Power Rangers and set the stage for that whole thing, and now that's all we're letting him do.
I do
or
know.
It also might be that's all he wants to do. I mean, obviously, Radiant Black is his own creator-owned thing.
It's possible, too, that Radiant Black is all the stuff that, Boom wouldn't let him do, because I know they had, really strict rules about...
Yeah. And people blame him for some stuff that was kind of out of his control.
Yeah.
Particularly it having to be in continuity, even though we moved it to present day.
Yeah,
I don't think he wanted to do that.
No, and you have even though it's set during during the original Green Ranger arc, Bulk is doing a podcast.
Yeah,
podcast called Ranger Station.
Right.
So
what about that?
It was just again, it's supposed to be the 90s, but on the other hand,
no, it's not.
It's that weird clash between modern, but it's in continuity too, and
but what you're supposed to do is just imagine it.
Yeah.
As present day, but everything still counts. So the only thing that's weird about Bulk doing a podcast is he just doesn't seem like a bully. That's what's weird about that.
And here's me complaining about a sliding timeline in comics.
Yeah, I mean, I can. Yeah, no. The problem with it was more everything with that. The problem is I've talked about all this on camera before.
Yeah.
But everything with that show is just too 90s of ideas in the first place to move up to present day.
Right.
So I don't know, the juice bar's got to look exactly the same.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't.
Right.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what's irritating about it.
Yeah.
So just let it be totally reimagined or somewhat reimagined anyway. Hayden put in a $2 super chat and says, "Do Void Rivals." So we were doing Void Rivals anyway. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
But I will say,
but that's what we're doing.
I wonder if Radiant Black is a lot of the stuff he couldn't do in the Boom series, because I know with Ronald Moore.
Oh, Braden apparently put some message through that we never saw.
Oh.
And then Hayden did a bigger super chat than his anyway. So yeah, I guess we're doing Void Rivals.
Yeah.
Braden, sorry about that. We went on long enough that more than one person now was able to come in and eclipse you. But I also didn't even see what your message was.
Yeah.
It just didn't go through. We gotta finish the show up here, man.
Technology. So, but yeah, I'm down with Void Rivals. It seems like
that's what we'll do.
Yeah.
Anyway, apologies about that whole thing. It was weird.
Yeah.
We will be back again next week with that and a gigantic week for new singles.
Yeah.
So look forward to that. It'll be a big show, and we'll see you next week. I was Captain Logan, and this was my buddy Chris. Good night, folks.
I've been doing this like the last few times. I don't know what this.
Is that your sign off?
I guess
like mine
maybe.
is this, and yours is
just
hit anybody on either side of me.
Jazz hands.
And scene.
And scene.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.